Welcome to World Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is the one, the only, Dion Green.
Baby, boys and girls, children of all ages, I am always with you like the Lord, or in some cases, a really bad case of dysentery.
Oh, like Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Only I don't make you shoot Arabs.
Well, that's a good thing. That man shuffling in the background is the last inning, Simone Big Rig, Nick Utab.
I guess it makes me like herpes. Every time you think you get rid of me, I'm just back again.
Well, they made the movie It Follows in your honor, so
I'm gonna sue somebody.
And finally, American Ramrod Kendo Slice.
So today I thought of something that was like a total mind-blowing revelation and pretty much makes all time travel movies not work.
What's that?
Stick around. Well, I don't want to go on too long here, but if you think about it, so like the planet's constantly moving through space and our solar system's constantly moving through space and the universe and galaxies and everything's moving. So if you were to like go back in time from the spot that you're on right now, like just a short period of time, you'd end up just stuck in the middle of space because everything would have, you would have moved back through time, but everything would have gone back.
God damn it! I guess I have to.
All right, I'm done.
That's it. I'm gonna go blow up my DeLorean. Fuck it, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Hulk Hogan, climb aboard the spaceship shuttle through time. We're moving. The planet's moving. The universe is moving.
Well, I guess it's safe to say
from me.
Back to the Future is no longer my favorite movie. Thanks, Kendo.
Yeah,
I'll go with Beverly Hills.
If Marty would have went back to 30 years, he would not be in the same location when he came back on the. So there you go.
I wonder. Now it makes me wonder what the shift would be like if you went back. Like how far would he move? Now that makes me wonder that now.
Yeah, it's like how far away would the Earth be? Who knows?
Yeah, would he be in the middle of space?
Be right on the same spot.
Yeah,
you need to stop dropping acid before the show.
You can test me all you want. I'm clean.
You're clean. You're clean. You're sitting here discussing the specific physical location of the universe in terms of time travel, and you expect me to sit over here and believe that you're clean? You're pissing dirty, sir. You're pissing dirty.
I mean, you can look at my college transcripts and see all the, intelligent classes I've taken.
Oh, is that how that works? Listen, I'm clean, man. Check my transcripts.
That's right. When have you ever known me to go, man, I would love to do some acid right now? Never.
Probably the time travel. It's the time travel talk. They really pointed me in the right direction there, Bucko.
Yeah, well, or maybe I was reading something. I was like, wait a second.
Or you were reading something when you were fucked up, and you were like, "Oh fuck, dude! Oh shit! Time travel."
Yeah.
Well, now that we broke the space-time continuum, do you think we can have a show?
God damn it, 2020, get better. Fuck.
2020 does need to get better, but you know what?
Speaking of time travel,
yeah, let's do what we always do to start out our show and thank our newest patron. So first off, we want to thank our friend Crabman. What's up, Crabman? Thank you very much. Also want to thank our friend Scott Hutchins for upping his pledge. Also want to thank Bobby James. That's a new top-tier patron, so thank you very much, Bobby. We appreciate you very much. And finally, we want to thank, that is everything. We'll just thank Matt Truman one more time, just to be safe, so we didn't miss it. But folks, this week on Patreon, Kendo and I are going to get together eventually and record another session of stuff. Since we've last met, you guys had a pretty big upload. We had the wrestling show, which was fairly long. We had our AMA. We had After Hours. So we had 3 things come out last week, and Kendo and I will get together as soon as the schedule lightens up, and we're going to go record some more stuff. So if you like that, awesome. There's always going to be more content coming from WCBs over on Patreon. And I'm trying to have it set up by within the next 2 episodes, we'll be on Subscribestar, and that way people that they want that kind of stuff, we can have it over there for them as well. So first off, want to do I want to thank or congratulate one of our listeners who just graduated. So our buddy Drew, he finally graduated from college. He posted on his our Facebook group, about how he finally made it and he's really happy. And Dion knows that I went through some shit to finally get through college.
Yes.
Dion knows it wasn't a breeze for anybody. Mine was a financial issue, not an academic issue, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, Dion, unlike the three of us, our buddy Dustin, aka Curtis Lendenfield, I don't think he made it.
Damn. It's a true tragedy, an opera of the saddest of sorts.
Well, I wish.
I'm okay with it.
I am too. So, congratulations to our buddy Drew. Did you guys know that since we've last met, that we have celebrated 2 film anniversaries?
Ooh, do
No,
tell.
I did not.
So over the week since we've met, we had the Avengers on May the 4th. It was the 8-year anniversary. And it was the 18th anniversary of Spider-Man on May the 3rd.
Oh, man.
And as you know, Dion, as well as a good chunk of the audience, the first Spider-Man movie was a big, important film to me. Do we have any memories of either Avengers or Spider-Man, like seeing them in theaters? Did everyone get to go see them, or was it more of a home video?
Definitely.
I went and saw Spider-Man instead of episode 2 in theaters.
Good choice.
Heck yeah. Especially in the long run for my sanity.
Kendo, what'd you say? You kind of beep-booped out.
I said I went and saw it in theaters. Couldn't wait to go see it. Saw it. It was fantastic. I enjoyed every second of it. And it's crazy to think that if that movie was a person, it could be buying cigarettes and lottery tickets right now.
Interesting way to put it, but yes, you are correct.
It's good to know that you're not a cinemaphile for it to be under 18. If you were to go back in time, would it be in the same position?
No, it wouldn't. No, it would not.
Yeah, you don't end up in communist Russia or something when you're time traveling. That's a big no-no. That's a big no-no.
Right.
Do we have a favorite moment from Spider-Man? For me, it would probably be the final battle between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin.
It's the same. I just the grenade going off in his face. Just William Dafoe in general. It was that's my favorite part of the movie.
Him doing the montage of the hand movements to get the webs to come out of his wrists.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good scene.
Go Web, go.
Yeah, go Web, go. Like all that stuff. I was just like, what are you doing right now?
So, Kendo, did you get a chance to say yours?
Yeah, go Web, go. That always gets me.
Shazam! I remember seeing that. That was the first movie I had to go see twice in theaters because I was so. The first time I saw it, I really liked it, and then the second time I saw it, I fell in love with it. I was just like, "Oh my god, this is what I've wanted out of a superhero film."
I just being a wrestling fan, seeing fucking Macho Man in it, and this movie can't get any better. You're going nowhere.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Did your husband make it for you? And then seeing that now, you're like, ooh, that joke doesn't age that well there, Peter. Damn.
I think it ages incredibly well and shows us how soft we've become as a society.
Yeah.
If he had a husband who made him that wrestling outfit, it'd be totally fine. Macho Man, dig it.
I mean, I would love if there was a deleted scene. He's like, yeah, he did. You got a problem with that? Spider-Man goes, no.
There was a meme. There was a meme where he goes, yes, he did. And there was something like, his name is Ronald, and I love it. And he goes, oh, well, that's cool, man. That meme's like 10 years old now. I got to see if I can find it during the show.
Whoa, please do. Send it to me. One other piece of news before we start talking about the meat of the show. It looks like No Time to Die. I almost said Die Another Day. I wish it was Die Another Day's news. It looks like No Time to Die could be delayed until 2021.
Which sucks because I really wanted to have James Bond in my birthday month again. Damn it!
It's been what, 5 years since Spectre came out.
Oh.
Huh?
It's been a long time between Bond movies, man.
Yeah, I remember coming back from Vegas and the next day going to see James Bond. So.
Yep. Went and saw it on opening night, and then hearing that Daniel Craig was like, "I'd rather slit my wrists," and then I was like, "You are a whore, Daniel Craig," because we both know that's a fucking lie.
You're just waiting for that. You're waiting to negotiate for a higher price, and then waiting for that fucking check to clear.
That check cleared, and them zeros looked mighty fine. He's like, you know what? I'll do another James Bond movie.
So, I'm in the boat that I want this movie to come out, but at the same time, I think this is going to be the end of the Bond franchise, at least for a while. It's nothing to do with the current virus. I think they made some creative decisions that they know are going to bite them on the ass, and they're just waiting. I mean, they're not pushing it back because of that. Because if they do reshoots, then that confirms it. All I'm trying to say is they know what they have on their hands, and they're just trying to get it into the best position possible. But I think in the back of their minds, they're like, yeah, this might be an issue moving forward. So
I can see it. I mean, if there's any franchise besides Star Wars that loves to fucking stab itself in the gooch, it's fucking James Bond. So I wouldn't.
Wait, you don't like to stab
you know?
yourself in the gooch?
You know what? Depends on the evening. If I'm feeling a little frisky on a Tuesday, maybe, but most likely not, because you gotta sit on the donut.
Listen. I save stabbing the gooch time for those special occasions like those holiday and birthday occasions. Okay, you can't just keep doing that on a Tuesday. You gotta make something special. Turn on some candles. Burn some incense.
An Ernest movie.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta make it special, man. Gotta make it special.
Yeah, well.
One other piece of news that broke this week that I really thought was important was Nicolas Cage is playing Joe Exotic, boys.
Fuck yeah! I tell you what, guess what, motherfucker?
What do you think of this news, guys?
It makes me laugh my ass off, dude.
He is. I think he's perfect for it because they just need to because he's. I'm sure he's gonna meet Joe Exotic or talk to him in jail, and they're gonna tape that thing or whatever. Because there's no way they're gonna let him watch a Netflix thing, and he's like, "Oh, this is all he is." Like, no, you need to go talk to the guy. They're gonna have a whole documentary in the back of the fucking Blu-ray DVD of him becoming Joe Exotic. It's gonna be hilarious, and I can't wait for that to happen. But I wonder who's doing it, if it's gonna be like a Netflix thing by itself, and if they're gonna own it and everything.
I don't know. Maybe not. My guess is gonna be a normal film, if we ever go back to seeing normal films.
Yeah,
God, I hope so.
I don't know. Perfect casting choice, though.
Agreed.
Casting choice.
Yes, they are making a Joe Exotic film, folks. That was a piece of news that broke this week, and I couldn't wait to share it with you guys because, Kendo, when you sent your Carol Baskin clip to Jesse for her video, there's a reason why it's at the very end because it's the longest and the best one, in my opinion.
I don't have to pass it.
Yeah, it's a damn good one.
Hey. Yeah, I was like, hey, can you make something for me? Yeah, sure, why not? And then I got the gist of what we're supposed to do. It's like, okay. So I spent a good 15, 20 minutes finishing up the lawn and was like, all right, so how am I going to do this? Let's see. All right, here's where I'm going to go with it, and we'll make it happen. A couple takes later, it worked.
It was good shit. Oh, man. But I do think Meryl Streep should play Carol Baskin, though.
That bitch Carol Baskin?
Yeah, that bitch Carol Baskin. Meryl Streep should play that bitch Carol Baskin.
Carol fucking Baskin.
Yeah.
Listen, as long as Meryl Streep does the scene where she's talking about sardine oil and you just go, I want to see Meryl Streep do that part.
Oh, jeez.
So, let's see, where are we at? Sorry, I got the thing pulled up right here. So, the New Mutants, guys, this is the film that we've been talking about since 2017. That's when the film started production. It was slated for a 2018 release. It is now mid-2020. And the film doesn't have a release date. It doesn't have anything planned, but it has some controversy. Would you guys like to talk about
more
New Mutant controversy?
Wait, hold on. What's the controversy now? Like none of the characters are relevant anymore?
No, it's even that's obvious, but it gets even better. So, it got a VOD pre-order release, then it got pulled down completely. It's like this film. We're gonna eventually get to see it, right? Probably not.
Okay. The studio exec who owns the studio for this movie. Which grave did they pee on?
I don't know. They have some bad juju.
Did they run over a gypsy with their car? What the fuck happened?
Yeah, and then they're just gonna lose a bunch of weight, and by weight I mean money. That's what Disney is. Disney's a modern day version of Thinner.
I don't know, man, because like just every few months we hear more about this movie, and it's like, oh, it's not gonna come out because of this issue now. It's like who got cursed on this movie and it's just not happening at all? Like, what red tape is happening here that it's just not coming out? Jeez.
So I'll read you this information real quick. So The New Mutants gets VOD release, Amazon adds, and then removes pre-order option. If there's one Marvel movie that skips the theatrical release and goes straight to VOD, it's most likely to be The New Mutants. The film currently does not have a release date, but Disney planned on releasing it in theaters until the beer bug forced movie theaters to shut down. Now we have no idea what the plans for the film are. While I would love to see the movie on the big screen, there's a good chance it'll end up being made on VOD. It was available on Amazon Prime. There was no release date, but they included a price of $25.99 in the US and £13.99 in the UK. Disney hasn't made any announcement regarding this, and Amazon has since removed the pre-order listing. They also offered the following statement. Our agreement with the content provider does not allow purchases of this title at this time. It looks to me like they may have jumped the gun on this. I wouldn't be surprised if the film ends up being distributed on VOD.
What you said was right, man. This movie is never fucking coming out. Goddamn, Joe Exotic is gonna make it to the Republican primaries before this fucking movie comes out.
That's true. We're gonna have the Space Force on the actual moon before this movie comes out, man. I swear to God.
Folks in the chat, press 1 if you think New Mutants was ever going to come out, and press 2 if you don't think it's ever going to come out. I'm going to put it 2.
Dude.
I'm putting a 2 right here from all of us here at the channel. That movie's never going to see the light of day. The thing is, it looked cool and it looked promising. It looked different. Oh, we're going to get these horror vibes. And there were reshoots. They say it wasn't to cut out content. I believe it was to make it more tame.
Once again, I have the official marquee poster in my house right now. I still have it. I bought it from Regal like 8 months before the movie was supposed to come out in 2017, and it's here, but it's not. It's no fucking use because the movie is not not going to come out.
I wish this would have been Captain Marvel's problem last year, guys. Captain Marvel never came out. Oh no, that would have been so fun. Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to cover this one briefly because I keep seeing this news. And Disney can't get their shit together. I'm not saying this is indicative of a greater collapse, but I mean, their income's down, revenue's down. They can't get this New Mutants movie that's clearly going to save Marvel. One movie. If one movie can bring back interest in Marvel properties, it's the New Mutants, folks. That's
I don't know.
For sure.
I don't know. I think New Mutants is more of like people are looking at it like The Room right now. Or like it's going to be a clusterfuck disaster, but everybody wants to watch it just to see how bad it is. Like that's what's happening right now because like we're all bored and at home and not doing shit. So
yeah. Now, have we all seen Fan4stic?
Yes.
I've refused to watch the whole thing, but I've seen chunks of it. And
you mean like the time you were with me and we turned it off because it was unwatchable?
Yes, that is the time I'm thinking of.
So we had a little bit of news come out today, Dion. Now, I know you are privy to this information because I saw you on the same Facebook post. I was like, hey, it's Dion. But
my man.
Yeah. But Josh Trank had a little more to talk about with Fan4stic this week.
Yes, he did.
I am going to read some of that for you in just a moment because Fan4stic was a train wreck we were all waiting for. We knew it was happening in progress. It wasn't one of those things where it's like, oh, guys, this is actually going to be really good. It's like, this movie's going to suck. But apparently, Josh Trank was facing a lot of pressure in the build-up to this film. And so, Dion, while I'm pulling this up, could you briefly give your initial thoughts on Fan4stic when you first saw the announcement or the trailer?
When I first saw the trailer, I was like, wow, this looks like shit. And then, like a lot of people, I was concerned of the casting of Johnny Storm. And I was even further concerned that they chose to go with the Ultimate Fantastic Four universe as opposed to the 616. But overall, I was kind of like, okay, well, what happens? It can't be worse than what we've gotten so far. And lo and behold, they found a way. Just like life, they found a way.
Kendo, what about you, man? What about your thoughts on this fucked up movie?
I've never watched it. I saw what they were putting out before they brought it out and the changes that were being made and all the bullshit of it. And I was just like, I didn't really think the original Fantastic Four movie was all that great. I've got no interest in watching this, and I never have.
Nick?
Listen, I watched this, and I still think the Roger Corman version is way better than this.
Agreed.
You know, at least he tried. This like I remember. Wait, was this also the movie where the director, this guy, Josh Trank, isn't he the one who like spent money on like a house and a villa and kept like messing it up? Whatever. Is it that movie?
Yeah, it's that movie.
Okay, so he's saying "woe is me" now and blaming the studio, even though like he trashed a house that they gave him for like millions of dollars and paid him lots of money, and now he's complaining it was the studio's fault.
Well, listen to this. Fantastic Four director Josh Trank slept with a gun because of Human Torch backlash.
What?
Yes, this is real. This is the type of shit. Well, look, we're in the middle of this crisis where there's no news, so old shit comes up again. Josh Trank wants to be relevant. Hey, I slept with a gun because people were gonna, kill me over the Fantastic Four.
Nobody's gonna kill you. They're just gonna protest you and snub you and like kind of spit in your coffee or whatever. That's about it, man.
You think your movie sucks.
Yeah.
Well, the nice part is
I've never watched a movie that was so bad. Yeah, I've never watched a movie that I thought was so bad that I'm like, I need to kill the director of this movie. I'm just like, wow, this movie's terrible. If I ever met the director, I'd tell him it sucked.
Well, here, I'll give you guys a little story. 2015's Fantastic Four reboot from Josh Trank didn't end up being the franchise starter that 20th Century Fox was hoping for, but that was far from the only issue during the making of it. Trank recalls quite a few of those issues as development in a new interview with Polygon, giving an honest and revealing look at the making of the movie and everything that everything the process brought with it. During the interview, the subject of Michael B. Jordan being cast as the Human Torch comes up, something Trank insisted early on in development. There was some pushback from certain parts of the fandom and the world in general after the casting was announced. That puts it lightly. And Trank reveals just how serious things got as a result, saying he even had to sleep with a gun under his pillow after numerous death threats. And this is a quote from Josh Trank. For the world I grew up in, a racially intense Los Angeles where we're used to seeing white superheroes, some of my friends who were black should have seen a black superhero. So I felt that, being in a position of power, I could change the system a little bit, Trank said about the casting of Jordan. Now, let me do a quick piece of investigative journalism. So Josh Trank, how old is Josh Trank? Josh Trank is 30, right? He's like years old. So Josh Trank is 36. Now, he grew up in Los Angeles, California, and he wanted his friends to have black superheroes. So 1984, let's see. We had War Machine. We had Black Panther. Let's see. With Storm. Let's see. Black Marvel heroes.
Blade. There's Cyborg. There's Spawn. Well, no, he's 90s, obviously, but
we also had the Falcon. Mm-hmm. We had Luke Cage was around back then. If you wanted Rocket Racer, you could have him, even though he kind of sucked. Let's see. Bishop was not around yet. Miles Morales, thankfully, wasn't around. The point I'm trying to make is there were black superheroes. Yes, the 90s brought us Spawn. Thank you, Todd McFarlane. But there were other superheroes that weren't white prior to Josh Trank's position of power.
This is some bullshit, man. And like once again, this is just like these white SJWs who have positions of power. Like, I'm going to help the minorities because they need it and they can't they can't help themselves, but I can because I'm white and powerful. It's just like this makes you look even more racist than your racist friends, and it just makes you look really, really bad. This is not progressive. This is just you trying to help, but also shitting on a whole group of minorities as well. Like, it just looks bad all around, and it doesn't do anything for anybody.
No, and this is a picture of Josh Trank. This is his smug ass right there, so people can make a connection.
Douche.
Yeah, douche is right.
God, love the hat, dude. Oh my God.
So let's see. He was getting threats on IMDb message boards saying that they're going to shoot him. Trank said. Trank then revealed that he kept a 38 special loaded on his nightstand just in case. I was so effing paranoid during that shoot, Trank said. If someone came to my house, I would have ended their fucking life. When you're in that headspace where people want to get you, you think, I'm going to defend myself. Trank returned the gun after the production of the Fantastic Four wrapped, but it just goes to show how intense things got there for a while.
Oh God, fucking Jesus!
I think
like
the story's slightly incorrect.
Slightly.
I think what he meant to say was, I got really stoned. I couldn't tell what was being written on IMDb, so I turned on my 38 special album and passed out. And then he woke up and he rearranged it in his head. Yeah. Then he rearranged it in his head. He's like, oh my God, they were coming to get me. So luckily I have my 38 special. And they're like, oh, he's got a gun. Not, oh, he's listening to, 70s rock.
Well, the chat is right. This guy was going to do a Boba Fett movie, and this guy screwed the pooch. I know he's trying to stage a comeback, but I mean, it's been 5 years since you've done anything relevant.
You're trying to stage a comeback during a pandemic? What are you going to do? Make movies in your basement? Get fucked.
I mean, aren't you guys excited for his Capone movie?
No. What? Something from 100 years ago? No.
Well, remember, folks, his Capone movie is like Knives Out, Rian Johnson's Knives Out. So if The Last Jedi broke you, you probably aren't going to go pay to see Knives Out. And I didn't. Same thing with Josh Trank's Fan4stic. If you like the Fantastic Four and this a-hole ruined it for you, chances are, Josh.
My question is this. Is he going to race swap Al Capone in his movie?
I think he should at this point.
Might as well. Fuck it.
Fine.
I mean, roll the dice again, Josh, because clearly, you're ready to defend yourself at all costs. You fucking liar.
I nominate Jeff for Al Capone.
I'm cool with that. I'll die of syphilis or whatever, but cool, it's fine.
Clearly, it's Michael B. Jordan's sight to lose, dude.
That's what I was going for.
He banked Fantastic Four on it. Might as well bank Capone on it, man. Go ahead and give him a black gangster they can be proud of.
Didn't Denzel Washington do that in American Gangster like really well?
No, he didn't. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. We need our own black gangster. Shut up.
Well, I have some bad news for our boy Josh. So his Al Capone film actually stars Tom Hardy, right?
Oh shit!
And God damn it, what Tom Hardy?
It looks like it's gonna go straight to video on demand.
Oof.
Yeah, oof is right.
Damn.
God, I feel like Tom Hardy's another guy we always talked about who always like kind of kills movies. Like I feel for the guy, but like he hasn't done anything mainstream or good. I think in a very long time.
He's definitely he needs an ensemble cast. I mean, he has some good movies, but he has some that didn't pan out either.
Yeah, he needs a group. He needs something to work out finally whenever everything goes back to normal.
You think that'll ever happen, or do you think we're stuck like this for a while?
No, it will eventually.
For sure. Too much money to be made.
The way people keep throwing that term of new normal out there lately, it's like they're trying to make us assimilate, and it's like, nah, I want it to go back to before the dark times of 2 months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
There was one more story to the Josh Trank. There's one more part to this Josh Trank saga, and Josh Trank effing hated the idea of making a Fantastic Four reboot like Marvel's The Avengers. So
yeah, we can fucking tell, Josh.
So this is what he has to say. The end of the Fantastic Four was going to very organically set up the adventure and the weirdness and the fun. That would have been the wish fulfillment of the sequel, Trank told Polygon. Because obviously the sequel would be, okay, now we are superpowered forever, and it's weird and funny, and there's adventure lurking around every corner. But the first movie was going to basically be the filmic version of how I saw myself at the time. The metaphor of these characters crawling out of hell. Well, first off, Josh, no. Unlike Trank, described as having a general distaste for comic book movies, having only seen a handful of episodes of the 1990s Fantastic Four animated series,
Jesus.
Slater was a superhero fan who pushed for a tone to feel more like the comic books. The first Avengers movie had recently come out, and they kept saying that it would be our template. That's what the audiences want to see. Slater said of the crowd-pleasing blockbuster that became the first Marvel Studios movie to gross more than $1 billion, and Josh just fucking hated every second of it. You had to do things with that tone. You had to make the most comic booky things, just as far as names and faces and identities and backstories, and synthesize it into a tone. And to that tone, Slater was interested, and not the tone that I had anything in common with.
Imagine being such a fucking asshole that you say all of that, and then what you get from it is, oh, they were pissed at me about Johnny Storm. I had to have a gun under my fucking pillow. Like, no, you are a dick, and you didn't make a good movie. Fucking take the L like a man, swallow your fucking pride, say I fucked up, and try and move on and make up for it. Period. Like, how the fuck do you just said, you admitted that you didn't watch the fucking 90s shit, though. That you hated fucking comic book movies. Huh. And I'm just spitballing here. Maybe that's not the guy to make a fucking comic book movie. I don't fucking know. Things only this fucking Sith know. You fucked up, period. Just admit it. Just take it. Take it like a man. Everyone else at their job, at their fucking 9 to 5, when they fuck up, they got to take the fucking L on the chin like an adult. You fucked up. You made a bad movie. It's not the goddamn... Listen, people were pissed about Johnny Storm. I was pissed about Johnny Storm. But them talking shit on a fucking IMDb forum page sure as shit isn't going to transfer to someone coming to your house, Chucko, and fucking shooting you. No one cares that goddamn much to kill a dude who's making the Ultimate Universe fucking Fantastic Four. I bet my 401k this motherfucker doesn't even know what Ultimate Universe Fantastic Four even fucking means, let alone got how dumb the title of his fucking stupid ass movie was. You fucked up. You made a bad film. It's the studio's fault, sure. I'll say that. But it's also your fault. Because you didn't have the nuts to stand up and say, stop fucking up my movie. You stood there like a punk. You finished a shitty movie, and now your name's attached to it. You fucked up, dude. Fucking, you fucked up. Every, not that I'd ever say that you're a great fucking director, but every great director has a fucking stinker. Yours just came really early, and it's a really bad fucking stinker, and it's mainly your fault. Deal with it, bitch.
I think his movie, the low-budget superhero one that Max Landis wrote, Chronicle, I didn't even think that was that good.
It was good, but the idea that it was like a game changer, and it was like, calm the fuck down. Like it wasn't Godfather. It was good. I enjoyed it, but this idea that he and that's the other thing. Like that was a resume booster. Like, oh, we should have that guy fucking make a Fantastic Four movie. Like he made a fucking essentially 3 dudes get superpowers and get their first hard on. Like that's the whole movie. Fucking let's calm down. He didn't reinvent the fucking wheel, and he did it with that weird kid who looks weird, who's really good in weird ass movies because he's a weirdo. Like
James Dehan?
Yeah, he didn't do that. Motherfucker was terrible in Valerian. Like, fuck, man. That dude didn't do anything great after that. So calm down. He was this and that. He's not. He proved it. He had his shot. It was the end of the game. He had the shot to win the game winner, and he didn't do it. He fucked up. Sorry, dude. Stop blaming the fucking fans. Stop blaming the fucking studio. Don't talk about the headspace you were in because we were so tired of superhero movies. You fucked up, Sonny. Just deal with it and fucking do some laps on the fucking treadmill. Stop bitching. Find a hobby. Learn how to box or something. You're just so fucking scared all the goddamn time because of what some chuckle fuck said on the you could have at least been like, well, someone did it on my Facebook. No, IMDb forum. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Well,
Get the fuck out of here.
Michael B. Jordan took your advice and took up some boxing, and now he's Apollo Creed's son.
You're welcome, Michael. Yeah. You're welcome.
Yes, this guy was in The Amazing Spider-Man. He played Harry Osborn in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. To me, there's a thing I'm thankful for and a thing I'm dreading, because we clearly dodged a lot of bullets with these Fox properties. We also had a lot of bad ones, but we have this era of really shitty superhero movies that aren't MCU. You have Fan4stic, you have The Amazing Spider-Mans 1 and 2. We have what else came out in that period of time that was pretty crap, that wasn't a Marvel film.
Green Hornet came out. That was fucking terrible.
Green Hornet, Jesus.
I'm gonna say X-Men Apocalypse.
That's like 2020. That's 2015, right? Yeah, that counts.
So I'm just saying, there were all these terrible movies, and then we had this period of awesomeness with MCU stuff, and then Joker was out. DCEU stuff was okay at times. Sometimes it was terrible. Sometimes it was good. Like Aquaman was fun, and then Shazam was pretty good. But we also had BVS. So I'm glad we're over that dark period, but I also feel like that dark period might be coming right back, because we keep talking about Hollywood not having the funds, the way they're changing the theatrical system and the presentation of films, and I'm worried that we'll get more inspired crap like Josh Trank's Fan4stic, because it was a lower budget film, a lower, smaller scale thing. And the last thing I think we need is to have superheroes go back to that late 90s, early 2000s mentality with the exception of X-Men and Spider-Man, this low rent, black leather, not a dig on Blade type of movie, kind of like a broke dick of X-Men.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility, and we're definitely going to get some stinkers for sure. I mean, Hollywood can't help itself, but I think the other part of it is even with everything changing because of the Rona, um, there's going to be a lot less room for mistakes, whether that be through VOD or people being even more selective of what they go to spend money on in the theater. While we will still get a lot of really bad ones, especially if Josh Stank over here is still getting fucking jobs making movies, there's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot less than what we got before because, the margin of error is going to be a lot smaller, man. People have pretty much moved on from the shitty reimagining of superhero movies. It's been done better now. You got to be good at it, and if you're not, you're gonna fucking lose a bunch of money. And if anything's an indicator, that's probably even though obviously the virus fucked with it, but Bloodshot. You had this movie where it was, instead of making a good superhero movie, they were just like, hey, it's Vin Diesel and he's got Guy Pearce as his bad guy. Come, spend money on it and see it on VOD. People were like, fucking no. And that's going to keep happening. You're going to have the shitty ones that people aren't going to go see it. And Hollywood's going to be like, oh, we have to actually do our jobs. Huh. What do you know?
Oh, God.
So we had a giant super chat roll in from Private Halo for $100. Holy crap.
Yeah, I saw that. You have it on the screen right now.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, thank you, Private Halo. Been looking at drone footage of Disney, and I could see someone walking around it, and I immediately thought, Jason takes Disney. Happy that you're all safe and having fun. Congratulations on graduating college. The real world, just like Animal House. It is just like Animal House.
Oh God, Jason takes Disney. That'd be a movie I would love to direct, but it would never happen because
I'd watch that.
Great concept.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I would do that in a heartbeat. Some kids sneaking into the park after hours. Lots of sex, lots of drugs, lots of titties, lots of blood and gore. A good time for the whole family.
That's one of those parodies we should try to make.
Stuff you'd want to see at Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
It's happiest place on earth, the bloodiest place on earth. How's
that? Dude, yeah, dude, that'd be the tagline, bloodiest place on earth.
I want to see that movie poster.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I'd love to make something like that. It'd be so much fun.
So, did you guys hear some of the news from the Disney investor call?
Yes. Holy shit.
Now, were you surprised at any of this stuff? Did you see? I've said this before. I was surprised how much of their money comes from the park. I'm not a park guy.
Yeah, because I mean, whenever you've done the research or like we've Googled it before, it's always like, oh, it comes from commercials from TV. That's always what I've heard and what we've seen. But it seems like the park is a giant thing, a giant form of income for them. I never realized it was that much.
Yeah, I know other YouTube channels definitely cover the Disney financials, but I thought I should at least read up on them so I can discuss them. And this isn't a pretty week for Disney. And
no, sir.
I wanted to talk about this in just a minute because we're gonna stay on the super chats for a minute. But there's a new backer in Hollywood, and it's Saudi Arabia. And I sent you guys that article earlier. We're going to talk about that. The socio-political economics of Hollywood are so interesting right now. I can't believe I just said that shit. But I can't believe that's where we are right now. Because it's like, oh, we're going to cater to China. Now we're going to have Saudi Arabia. It's like,
oh, dude, it's going to be, it's the wild fucking West, man. I love it and I hate it at the same time.
I'm waiting for a fucking Superman movie where he lands in the middle of the Middle East and like shakes the hands of like opposing leaders' countries or some shit like that, and that's the movie. It's like Superman's bringing peace. It's like, what the fuck are we watching? Like that. I foresee. You know how Nick, I always joked about, oh, the big crossovers are going to be the thing that really gets us back into the theaters. It's not going to be like King Kong versus Godzilla versus the Megazord. It's going to be like some Saudi Arabia Superman movie. That's what we're gonna get. The WWE did it.
Oh my God!
What are you talking about? The WWE goes to Saudi Arabia each year. They put on a super show. I think they do it twice a year, Dion, right?
Yeah, they did it twice this past year. Yep.
Yeah.
And they do all these things to appeal to that government, and they're just historically bad wrestling shows. So I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
So I wonder if that's an indicator of like how the movies are going to be. Are the movies going to be just as bad as the wrestling shows?
Well, that's why I look at this stuff and I'm a little hesitant because Kendo knows what's up.
Oh yeah. The funny thing is, if say Saudi Arabia does come in and essentially buy Hollywood, the celebrities out there will have zero. I mean, they already have no legs to stand on when they try to preach to us. They will literally have zero, anything to stand on to be able to preach towards us. It's like, yeah.
Well,
It's almost like that the Ricky Gervais line from the Oscars about if ISIS started a streaming service, you'd have your agents on the phone.
Yeah.
It's about to come true.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's a prophet.
He is, man. Well, the thing is that say that does happen and everything starts to go back to normal, and they're the only ones funding movies in Hollywood. What I think what you're gonna have is a lot of actors, be like, oh, I'm not doing this because it's Saudi money and it's I'm not gonna be part of this. But if they're gonna be the only game in town that are gonna fund movies and they start paying people, and all of a sudden the people who are speaking out don't get paid all of a sudden and they go away, they're gonna feel real fucking stupid because they just didn't shut up and take the money. And then they're just gonna feel like crap, and then once they do a movie that's funded by Saudi money, everybody's gonna give them shit, and they're gonna just start lighting them up on Twitter and Instagram and on all over the internet. It's gonna be hilarious.
Now, fuck it. We'll start talking about this right now. For me, my biggest concern is with any. This is the perfect time to talk about that bill too. In a minute, did you guys see the Ted Cruz bill? How he's trying to fund a thing where.
We'll talk about Ted Cruz. Jesus.
That's why I should have named this episode like the socio-political economic future of Hollywood. But no one's going to click on that video. No one's going to click on.
That's true, but it makes a hell of a T-shirt.
Listen. All those poli sci kids are going to click on it. Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
All 8 of they don't care.
They ain't got shit else to do.
That's true.
Might as well check out the bullshitters. But yeah man, I listen, and me, man. I'm a little bit more idealistic, in the long run, and I can't tell the fucking future, obviously, but in terms of bringing people closer together, who knows? I mean, this is a way to get them to the table. That being said, they're fucking crazy, so it's going to be very hard to anticipate what they're going to want, how much they're going to spend to get it, and who they're going to ask to do it. Now, obviously, as Nick and I love to say, everyone's idealistic until the fucking check clears. So, we're going to really see what actors and what all these idealistic directors really feel, when the belts start getting tightened around Tinseltown. And hey, listen, obviously being idealistic isn't exactly a money-making endeavor, but I just want to know what are they gonna want with this money? Are they gonna want creative input? Are they just looking to make billion-dollar movies? What is the Saudi government gonna want? Because if there's another entity that sure as shit likes to hide behind being good and all that, it's them. So that's a very interesting matchup in Tinseltown heaven, fucking Hollywood executives in the fucking Saudi government, man. I just
I just had a thought. What if they're the end to the SJW, this whole empowerment movement because of who they are and what they do? What if they're the ones who are like, oh, we don't want any ideology, we want big titty women and blood and gore and bikinis and things like that in movies now. We want high action and lots of fun. We don't care about your ideology. We just want this.
That'd be a mind fuck, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't that be weird if that happened?
And I could see
it would happening. Be, but you are from. So you are familiar with their culture, correct?
Correct. I am familiar with it.
It's like, yeah. I was gonna say that's you're taking the swing from the hard left, and you're saying, all right, here's the course correction, all the way to the other side as fast as possible. It's like, that could be bad. It could be very bad.
Yeah, well, but on paper, right? Obviously, we especially talking about how they treat the ladies of the world over there, but also this is the same part of the world that has a crazy amount of gay porn and just porn in general. So again, I'm saying obviously that's a cultural thing, but everybody likes to see a certain thing in movies. Obviously, apparently they're also huge wrestling fans. So it's that's the interesting bit, is what they what their culture is like. And obviously what they want to be entertained by. Even this past year, they kind of relinquished the whole women at the show thing. So I don't know, man. I wouldn't. It'd be a real mind fuck, but also I would not be surprised if they were like, hey, you know, they did exactly what Nick said. I want a fucking violent ass movie, show me good looking women, and cut all this other bullshit out. I want to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
I think because how prevalent religion is in that part of the world, I think that will still supersede the desire to just strictly make money. I think there will be creative differences or creative changes made, the requests for these creative changes to be made. And I think a lot of people in Hollywood will bow down because there's no money right now. They don't know where to go. So, I mean, it's not about Hollywood is the most real, also the most fake, because you can see how these people are truly, because wherever the dollar comes from, it's the greatest thing in the world. This isn't a game of, we're gonna, we're gonna do what we believe in, and we'll find investors elsewhere. It's, hey, king of X, Y, and Z, we believe everything you believe. Please give us the check. And they'll, and the thing is, we had those movies for about a 5 to 10 year period that were like very, and it's not about liking or disliking China, but these movies have certain things that the Chinese government wanted in their films. Iron Man, Transformers, they're both guilty. Iron Man 3, excuse me, and Transformers 4 are the guiltiest, the biggest ones. But we've also seen how sometimes they flip the switch and they're no longer interested in these American movies, and these movies don't really have much of a shelf life. They don't have any value outside of, they wanted to appeal to this demographic at this point in time and this market, and these movies won't be talked about. And you got to ask yourself, as a movie producer, if I want to have a valuable library, if I want to have a streaming service that's going to entice people to sign up on day one and get them to stick around, I have to have this library, this steel trap of just content, this quality content. And if I'm just like Netflix, Netflix's original content is full of garbage, and every once in a while you get something compelling. It's a train wreck like Joe Exotic, but a lot of times you get 13 Reasons Why or Ozark, or these shows that are very slanted one way because of the beliefs of the creators. So I don't think Hollywood is thinking long term. I think it's going to hurt them.
Yeah, I think so too.
And here's a question too I see the chat bringing this up. We're talking about women's rights, and we have this feminist movement in Hollywood films. We have these Leslie Headlands and Kathleen Kennedys who are all about girl power and Star Wars and all this stuff. Do you think that stuff will change because of where the money could possibly come from?
Depends on who it is. I think Kathleen Kennedy's going to change? Yeah, absolutely. Disney's that belt's getting tightened. Do I think what's her name's idealism's going to change? No, she'll just have less work to do. So yeah, I think it depends on whose dog is in this fight. If it happens to be someone who happens to be the head of a studio, you're going to see a lot less chit chat and a lot more them stepping into the background so they don't get caught putting their fucking hand in the Saudi money. But like I said, it really depends on who it is and how much say they have in the fucking budget.
Well, people in the chat are making good points. They said the feminism stuff really won't play in the Middle East. We have a lot of, let's say that a Saudi investor comes in and wants to invest in some of the bigger budget stuff. Do you think that will cut out scenes like, let's say hypothetically, let's go back 2 years. Let's go back 4 years. Let's say Hollywood had this predicament. We had Saudi investors. Do you think Avengers Endgame would have had the girl power scene cut out in other parts of the world? Or do you think we even had it in the first place?
No, we wouldn't have had it.
It wouldn't have happened at all. Yeah,
we wouldn't. And I don't think we would have even. We wouldn't even see Captain Marvel go rescue Tony Stark either. They wouldn't have had that either. I don't think
they wouldn't have had Captain Marvel.
That's true.
I wouldn't go that far. I think we definitely wouldn't have had the forced girl power scene in Endgame. I think I think we still do have Captain Marvel in it, but you don't have. They definitely downplay her character. I think they definitely make her a hell of a lot less abrasive, especially in her standalone film. And the biggest reason I think that you wouldn't have a whole lot of changes, these movies ain't making money now. So it's not like you'd see a complete different change because of Saudi money. So many of these movies, 2016, 2015, have lost $70 million, $100 million. That part's not new, but I think it's definitely going to change certain studios that don't have the Disney money are going to listen a hell of a lot closer than Disney, or you're going to see Legendary Pictures and all them. They're going to pay more attention to what the Saudis want, as opposed to other studios that still kind of believe they can make some money out of the lady pockets.
It's so weird though. It's basically Hollywood and American whatever goes to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
So
It is, man.
That's kind of how it's always been, man. Like they're as you said before, they're greedy and they're shady. Whenever the dollar comes from is where they're gonna put their beliefs into. That's how it is. That's how it's always been. So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I've read this article. I was looking at it again, but there is a secondary piece that I wanted to bring up. It's something I was going to bring up no matter what this week, but this Hollywood Reporter stuff was fairly new. And this, I don't really get into politics, but this is for entertainment. So this really isn't about espousing political beliefs or values of the channel or getting into the 2020 election, which seems like an afterthought because of all the shit that's going down right now. But I know you saw this, Dion, because you mentioned it. Ted Cruz announces bill to halt U.S. funding for Hollywood studios that bow to China. Senator Ted Cruz introduced a bill called the Script Act, which would cut off consulting and cooperation between the Department of Defense and Hollywood studios who produce their films and censor them on behalf of the communist Chinese government. The bill's goal is to limit or prohibit the use of Department of Defense resources to help movie studios with many aspects of their films, such as consulting with military personnel for accuracy. The bill summary reads, to prohibit the use of Department of Defense funds for the production of films by the United States companies that alter the content for screening in the People's Republic of China and for other purposes. The bill specifically details the Secretary of Defense may not provide technical support or access to any asset controlled by the department. If the film is co-produced by an entity located inside of the People's Republic of China, that is subject to conditions of content imposed by an official government of the People's Republic of China or the Chinese Communist Party. It's a wake-up call for Hollywood, according to Ted Cruz.
Good. Jeez.
I mean, he likes playing that game. Hey, remember when I wrote that bill to try to get Hollywood to not talk to China? It's like, what the fuck, man? If it was, if someone on the other side of the aisle was like, well, we don't want movies to do this, like, oh, whoa, you're impeding their ability to make money. What the fuck? This ain't Russia, so, it's just fucking political fucking grandstanding. I think it's a hell of a lot funnier than what I'm sure other people think, but you fucking, let me make a bill so studios don't consult with China. What the fuck, dude? Get out of here.
Oh man, it's a nice idea, and I'm sure a lot of people are for it. But if they do, what are the penalties if it does happen? Like, what are they going to fine the studio $1,000? Like, what are they doing?
Yeah. Well, I think you're getting into the space of telling, studios and script writers who they can talk to. Like, don't get me wrong, trying to make movies to make the Chinese audiences happy is fucking stupid. But that's a slippery slope when it's like, oh, hey, now we as the government are going to tell them you can't consult with them because we want to have a fucking wake up call for motherfucking don't ask China for movie stuff. Write the scripts for America. That's just a slippery ass slope.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, let's just talk about Marvel for a minute. Like this article says, it was the Chinese, the fear of offending the Chinese audience, or excuse me, the demographic where they can make the money, and that's why Tilda Swinton was cast as the Ancient One, and that's the writer of Doctor Strange saying that. So that's not just some dick on the internet with a theory. This is right here. Dr. Strange writer Robert Cargill intimated that the fact that they cast Tilda Swinton of the Ancient One due to China, and here he is right here on the Double Toasted channel. So I mean, it's not about.
I understand that. I definitely understand that, choosing who to cast based on China. But one, that's if he were to get specific, that'd be great. So is he saying that China specifically wanted Tilda Swinton? China didn't want someone else to be the Ancient One? Not to mention that even bringing that up is interesting, that they wanted Tilda Swinton and not an Asian person to play the Ancient One. So that point alone is very curious. And then too, like I said, I understand that, but how different which again I understand we're not going to know, but how different is it going to be? So now China's the issue. So what's the next thing the government doesn't want them to talk about or to discuss with when it comes to writing scripts?
Well, it's not
is it going to be China or?
Well, the thing is, it's the whole point of the bill, Dion, is to prohibit the use of Department of Defense funds for the production of films that alter. Right. So basically, they're not going to consult for accuracy. They're not going to help. They're not going to pay for anything. So it's not about just China. It's just the whole point of the bill is to not provide technical support for these places. It's like paying for your opposition to help them out. So I think this is a cool one. I like this one. That's why I brought it up, because we've been talking about the never-ending bowing to China, especially with Star Wars and Marvel stuff. Disney has no hesitation to bow to that part of the world for money, especially with some of the changes that they're going to be making post Beer Bug. So we'll see what's up.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's all interesting and all fascinating to think about and to talk about. It's crazy times, man. Crazy times.
Yeah, I don't know how far it'll go because there's bigger fish to fry right now in terms of getting the country back on the right track. But I honestly don't think we should be allowing China to have influence over our media, considering how they like to, curb free speech and all that shit.
That's true.
Which I understand, but again, we're not talking about letting China come in and control movies here. Like the bill is, about the Department of Defense consulting with those parties. Now going into this is a door to a foreign government controlling our film. That's a bit of a leap. It's a bit of a leap. I understand. Obviously the big thing was their issue with spirits talking and communicating, which I get. But I just it's just very interesting that that's the concern that people bring up when it comes up is, oh, we don't want them to influence our stuff. It's like, okay, well, if they were buying like telecom companies or something, I can understand that shit. But consulting with movies for accuracy.
Well, I mean, it's a step to change the way. It's funny. It's a step to change the way they deal with China, but now with today's news from the Hollywood Reporter about Saudi investment, Hollywood is just. You remember how we always make that joke, Nick, talking about like the old Canon guys, Golan Globus, how they get these guys that would come in, they would buy up rights to stuff, and they would make these kind of low budget adaptations, like the He-Man movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's going to be. We're gonna have big budget versions of those where you just get these people, these outside sources that come in and screw stuff up. It'll be funny to watch the film. If this is going to happen, to watch the film industry collapse because of this will be a joy to some people.
Well, I mean, I think what's going to happen is they're still going to try to make $100 million, $200 million movies, and then when they flop because nobody's got any money or they're restricting theater access or whatever for a while. And then, these studios are not going to make $1 billion over a weekend or over a week or over 2 weeks. Like they're going to freak out because it'll take them longer to make that money back and stuff. So they're going to freak out and not wonder about what's going on. They're going to have to tighten their belt and think about making movies on a certain type of budget for the next little bit before they can come back up and start doing $100 million, $200 million movies. It's really going to have to, be a decision they have to make.
Yeah. I never thought we'd get so serious on this show, but I kind of dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I left Private Halo's super chat up because I wanted to address something. He says the real world is just like Animal House. Dion, you and I have experienced some Animal House like shit in college. Is that correct?
Why, yes.
Any favorite memories?
Definitely You True Nick is probably the top of the list one. That's definitely my favorite one. You true. Dude, don't talk about baseball, Nick.
Dude, those drunk white dudes were hilarious. They started to fight and then they hugged it out and they cried a little bit. I love drunk people.
Oh, good. Dude, I've experienced some Animal House stuff just with you guys alone. Just whenever we can get together, it becomes fucking Animal House again. It's just like true. Every time.
Even though we're in our 30s, we need to have a night that goes so hard that one of us passes out in the front yard.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm ready because of all this bullshit. I'm ready to hang out, drink beers, and talk shit. All right, I'm ready for it.
Well, I mean, it's official.
Mhm.
We haven't had a chance to make this announcement on the channel as a podcast, but Horror Hound has been officially canceled for the May show. They made that announcement on the 1st.
Yeah. So,
which is bullshit because they don't put it on their
Saw that
website. They
coming.
put it on their Facebook group.
yeah, they're really fucking horrible about that. They need to. I mean, you just post it on the front page of your website. It's real fucking easy. It's just text, copy and paste it. Come on now.
I just wish they would have done it better. But folks, if they're going to have a September show, we'll be at the September show. So don't worry if you're like, oh, I wanted to come hang out with you guys or meet or do this stuff. If the Indianapolis location is more convenient than Cincinnati, well, just wait till September. We'll be there and we'll have some surprises. But it sucks to have to make that announcement. But we didn't make the call. If we were in control, we would have had the March show happen. But because we kind of needed a break from everything.
That's true.
So thank you,
We'll
Private
have to
Halo.
do Indianapolis really hard.
Yeah, we'll do Indianapolis super duper hard. We know who will be there. Dr. Coffinails will be there. All of our fans that show up. Breadman Productions, tons of people. So, holy crap. Justin B., thank you very much. He said, I don't like the sound of that bill. I don't want the government involved in video games because if they get in the door, they will try to take the house. Same for Hollywood. They shouldn't side with China, but the government shouldn't take control. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, that's definitely part of how I feel, especially when obviously it's a slippery slope. Obviously they got a history of trying to open the door and then having a bigger say in what goes out, especially when it comes to shit like this. So I get where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, it's a very weird gray area to kind of be in right now. So I don't know. See what happens.
It's weird too.
Yeah.
All this video.
Both are poor choices.
Go ahead, Ken. I'm sorry. The poor choice is
I
what?
say both are poor choices. Yeah, you don't want the government controlling what movies get made, but at the same time, you don't want a foreign government controlling shit involving movies too. So it's like, which one do we go with? Neither are good options. Fuck it, burn it all down. Let's start over.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah, see, I didn't like how. Remember back in the 90s, it was Joe Lieberman and all the people in Congress that wanted to censor video games because they were too violent. They were like, oh, we're going to throw up all these studies that go to show people how violent video games make kids. And then 30 years later, like, it doesn't actually make people violent. So
yeah, there have been multiple studies by multiple independent places that say that. And like every time the government does that, comes out the exact same way. And it's been the same study for the past like 5 or 10 years, man. They know it by heart now.
Yeah, it's kind of sad where we are right now. Is just the whole system's kind of like the world in general. It's kind of a funky time to be alive. We have people are stuck at home. People have lost jobs. Dion, Kendo, you guys are going through shit every day because you're essential employees. So there's some crap you're definitely dealing with. But and then there's nothing to look forward to either. I mean, it's nice to be optimistic, like, oh, at least we have this to look forward to and that to look forward to, and everything's just doom and gloom right now. Even us, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, this is going to be awesome eventually. Like, the eventually is what scares me, not keeping the faith that things will be good again. It's the when, the timetable. And I'm just like ready for to dust off all this crap and move forward. Not even just from the virus, but just things in general, the way things have been produced. Some of this samey corporate nature that we're getting with a lot of these projects. I'm ready for identity to be injected back into projects. And I don't mean identity politics. I mean a unique sense of identity. The way a film like, I don't know, what Jaws feels differently than, let's say, The Monster Squad, or The Goonies feels different from Rambo First Blood Part 2. Just stuff like that. I mean, now everything seems so homogenized. Transformers feels like Avengers, which feels like Justice League, which feels like Valerian, which feels like Harry Potter, which feels like Hunger Games, which feels like this and that. It's just all one big cycle of it's the same shit from a different company.
Well, it's because one company made $1 billion and then somebody went through and made the formula for it, and then like he copy and pasted it on the internet, and then everybody got it, and they're like, all right, here's a formula. Here's the things you have to hit on these timings for this story, and then they've just been doing that, and also them lighting everything the same with that kind of orange blue kind of thing they've been doing for the past 10 years. That makes everything look the same and seem the same. It's just the way it is, and it's just I know what you're talking about. And I mean, I wish there was more distinct stuff going on and things of their own feel and stuff again. I really miss that.
So there's a ton of the audience participation. I'd like to get to some of this stuff, guys. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We have 918 watching in the chat. If you like what we do, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button and spread the word that we are live right now. So our friend John Balderdash, thank you very much. John says, "Hail WCBS. Had a thought about Last of Us 2. The title implies humans are nearly extinct, and the lore backs that up. Same-sex partnership will not help solve that problem. No offense intended." Well, John, that's a question. You don't have to, well, it's not even a preface, but yeah, I don't think a question like that implies any sort of problems on your end. It's just a straight-up question. And I think you would want to, if the world's being depopulated due to some disease and there's an initiative. I'm not saying you're going to go against your natural instincts. You like what you like, but I do think unless the whole purpose of this game to tell a story, it's like a slice of life in this bigger story. Other than that, it would be like, I don't know, the antithesis of a lot of these things to keep the believability of the world going. How do you guys feel about that statement from John?
I mean, that's fair. I mean, definitely. I mean, in terms of telling a story, I get that from a standpoint. If they're focusing on, same-sex relationships, obviously that's going to be, if you're saying that you want to make a story, that should be part of your story too. It's like, hey, humans are extinct, so you got to be able to fit that into the story that you're telling. So obviously, it's going to feel a lot less not natural, but I guess it's going to feel a lot less. Just lost my train of thought. It's going to feel a lot less natural if the story is focusing on androgynous characters as opposed to, hey, we're an extinct species going, we're fucking gonna die here. So yeah, I get that. I think that's a fair assessment. That's not going to be on the main character's forefront of their mind is telling that story. It's going to be like, hey, we're an endangered fucking species. So yeah.
Anything you guys, Nick, Kendo, you want to add to that?
I mean, yeah, I'm with him. I mean, it makes sense to make that part of the story where it's just kind of like, once again, you're just an extinct part of the species. Of course, you want to keep the population going and that whole thing going on. So making these characters look a certain way kind of goes against that and the whole story. And you putting 2020 identity politics into the story that's in the future and a part of this dystopian society doesn't really make sense. So.
Okay, Mad Mardigan, thank you very much. The grandfather paradox. If you're traveling back to kill your grandfather, we know you don't because you exist. Kendo, how do you feel about the grandfather paradox? Paradox, since you brought up the time travel question at the beginning of this week's show.
Well, I mean, you'd have to go back in time and then fly to wherever the Earth is supposed to be to go after Granddad. So. I don't know. It's all correct. Time is all made up. It's a human thing. Fuck it.
But it's so nice, though, that it's a universal thing that everyone would like to be able to go back in time and change things in their life. Without getting too dark or serious, Dion, if you could go back in time and change one thing, what would you do?
Oh, fuck. Jesus. Without getting dark?
I mean, you can get dark. I don't want to put you on the spot and make you uncomfortable.
No, I'm not uncomfortable. It's just a litany of things on the docket. I mean, probably the first thing, there was a chick I was really into in high school who was gorgeous, super, super curly hair, who I like to go back and take a shot at because I was, a high schooler who was being a pussy. That's probably the first thing, is hooking up with chicks who you realize you had a shot with, and you're like, God damn.
I think every guy would do that, though.
Right. That's probably, I mean, that's probably the first thing I can think of.
Nick, what about you?
Stop the woo flu from happening.
Oh, easy, Captain America. Jesus.
Kendo?
Let's see, without going dark. Oh, shit, we already know the answer to this. I would go back and bet on a bunch of shit and create Kendo's Pleasure Palace.
See, you and I are in the same boat, Kendo. I would take $10,000 and invest it in Google stock on the first day of their IPO. Or no, I think I would take 10 grand. I'd go back and do the Yahoo stock first. Then when that blew up in the 90s, in the early 2000s, and then I'd put that into Google and then, be well off. And Amazon. I would go back and just
whatever you do not invest in Enron.
Oh, no. I think it's...
Yeah, you can. Just make sure you get out at the right time.
That kind of would be the most compelling. I think that's what I would do with time travel. But the thing is, I would do it over the span of like however long it took, but I would come back 1 minute later to our time. So it'd be like, guys, I'm going to the bathroom real quick. I'd go off on this great journey, achieve whatever I need to do, come back. Hopefully the only thing that's changed in the time stream, I know there's little variables like the the butterfly effect, but I would like to theoretically come back the minute later, jump over the minute, come back, having achieved all this stuff, being an older man myself, but no one knowing that what I have done. That's my ideal of time, or my ideal time travel.
Would that also skew the timeline and make two timelines then?
Probably.
Theoretically.
If there's two timelines where either I'm super rich or I'm just me right now, I win either way because I'm pretty damn happy.
There you go.
Yeah. Plus, then there are also like if you go and you invest in stocks, there's different manipulations there that would be there. That would like be slight, minute things like say you bought up some shares of stock that somebody else was destined to buy instead, and now they're poor and jumping off a bridge, and it's your fault.
Well, I wouldn't feel guilty.
Maybe just pull an Ashton Kutcher and go and choke yourself in the womb.
Jeez. Oh, that fucking movie. God damn.
Dion's chair has a very special message. Dion, please scoot to the left.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Ninja Lawyer Steve, what's up, Ninja Lawyer Steve? He says, I got to see the lab set from Spider-Man. Oh, that's pretty awesome. I guess, was that on the Sony slot back in the day? You didn't get bit by a spider, did you?
Shit.
It's the funny thing about a movie like Spider-Man is there's very blatant Sony product placement, but it's not as bad as like Casino Royale or any of the Bond movies.
Well, I mean, Sony product placement is like in their movies is just blatant because like nobody has iPhones. They all have their Sony Ericsson phones that nobody buys that I've never seen ever, and they're always using Sony laptops which don't work and are pieces of shit. And are just like and every now and again you'll see the Sony Walkman, which shouldn't exist anymore because nobody uses tapes, but somehow all those things are in there. Yeah,
I've been very like pro Sony over the years. I've had like two of their TVs, all the PlayStations. I think I even had a Sony disc player at one point. Like I had two Walkman, the disc ones. But even I'm just like, this is a little much. And I did have one of their phones, Nick, for a couple years, a Sony Ericsson.
Yeah,
it was a piece of shit.
Because they're one of those companies. I think like, what was it, the late '90s, early 2000s? They were making everything.
Yeah.
Everything, and then when they went to that status of making everything, nothing worked, and it just all crumbled down to the PS4. That's it.
Yeah, it's their biggest moneymaker. Did you guys have a chance to see the big Xbox reveals today and how they look exactly like modern Xbox games?
I did not.
Yay! There's even articles from IGN that says lower your expectations for next gen console graphics. It's like that's exactly what I want to hear in 2020.
Good old Microsoft.
Good old 2020.
They did this shit with their last console.
To the chat, shout out for the Windows phones. I remember Windows phones. Never had one, but they were kind of difficult to navigate. My aunt had one.
I hated it.
You had one?
Yeah, briefly. I had when my Galaxy S4, the charger port went out, so I took it and dropped it off at one of those cell phone, kiosks where they pick up your phone, fix it, and give it back to you. Well, they did that, but in the process, they broke my fucking antenna. So I had like no like reception at all. So it only worked when I was at home and on Wi-Fi. So I was like, I'm just going to order a phone, So I went and I ordered a cheap, Windows phone or something like that. And I got it, and I spent like a day trying to figure the thing out. And I was just like, fuck this. It flew against the wall, and I just went and ordered a new Galaxy.
Logan Michael Anti-Funko Pop says Spider-Man is finally legal. I'm going to watch it so many times until the disc stops working, just like Dion did with his 956 Dark Fate discs.
Just make sure that you eventually pull it out. Just pull out. Always remember to pull it out.
Spider-Man might be a film that I've watched not more than anything, but it's got to be a top 10 for most watched films on home media. Like, I watched the hell out of that Spider-Man disc. I actually have 2 copies of it on DVD.
Oh, jeez. Did you melt the first one?
No, I went and they re-released they released a set that was like, it's Spider-Man 1 point whatever with all this bonus content, and it was just the same disc, and then there was a bonus disc in a different pack. I was like, well, I got catfished, but whatever.
Okay.
Deadeye, thank you very much for your super chat. I just want to take a minute to say thank you for all you do, bringing us entertainment during this stressful time. God bless you all. Well, thank you, Deadeye. We appreciate all of you for watching every day.
Thanks, buddy.
We're the lucky ones. Thank you. And McKinney90, he says, I heard something yesterday that Disney Trilogy basically turned Luke Skywalker into the Joe Exotic of Star Wars. McKinney90, was today your birthday, by the way? I believe it might be. Happy birthday if it is. I don't want to not wish you a happy birthday, but I'm also going to wish you a preemptive one. If it's today, happy birthday. If it's not, literally any other day, I'm wishing you a happy birthday. But turning Luke Skywalker into the Joe Exotic of Star Wars, what does that actually mean to you guys? Does it mean he's a freak show or what?
I think that means that he has a little young boy back on Tatooine that's about to blow his own brains out, which I'm going to say that's a resounding no, dog.
Spicy meatball there. God damn. Dion.
Jesus.
Whew.
Kendo, you like Star Wars and you like Tiger King. What are your thoughts about this comparison, the parallel?
Yes. About Joe Exotic being in Star Wars? I mean,
no, Luke Skywalker of Star Wars. The Luke
Skywalker,
Joe Exotic parallel.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm sure he would have an amazing zoo thing going on with plenty of spigers and splions. And the question is, who do you get to be? Who would be his Carol Baskin in that scenario there?
Jabba the Hutt.
Bitch,
oh, there you go. That fucking bitch, Jabba the Hutt.
Hello, slugs and bantha poodoo.
Oh my god.
By the way, McKinney90 does clarify it is today. So happy birthday, McKinney90. And shout out to our buddy
birthday,
Big Go Big Four.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah. From all of us here at the channel.
Birthday.
007 Cloud says, I saw all the Raimi Spidey flicks in theaters. As did I. I definitely caught them all on opening weekend or day. The only one I didn't catch opening day was Spider-Man 1 because it was a period where my mom worked every day of the week but Sunday. So she's like, Jeffrey, I promised to take you on Sunday to see it. And she did. So good mom. But I did get to see those all in theaters. You guys catch them all in theaters too?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were they were a lot of fun, and they were great movies. So every time they come out, it's like, oh, what do you know? Let's get all our friends together and get the tickets and go watch it. So yeah, always a lot of fun.
Remember, folks, those were the big event pictures of the day. I mean, it makes me sound dated and old, but it's like nowadays it's like, oh, the Avengers is the biggest thing, but the Spider-Man movies each year were the biggest in terms of like the spectacle, because the Lord of the Rings trilogy was big, but they all came out by the time we just had Spider-Man 1. So then Spider-Man 2 and 04 was all about that year. 2004 was all about Spider-Man. And then 07, Spider-Man 3 still was successful. It sucks, but it was successful.
Yeah. I remember the days when we would get maybe one or two superhero movies every like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Maybe one day we'll probably go back to those sooner than we think, because we'll be on Disney. Superhero movies will make a comeback. Remember that movie, Angels in the Outfield? Hey, Dad, when are you coming home? When the Angels win the pennant? They'd be like, hey, fans will be like, hey, movie studios, when are superhero movies coming back? When New Mutants is released.
When the Saudis give us money.
I like all of that stuff. RBM Entertainment, thank you very much for your super chat. He says Dion is going to see Dark Fate 10,000 times before New Mutants. Oh wait, he's already seen it that many times.
True story.
Man. Just nothing really rattles my cage more than watching my childhood action films get fucking shat on.
Wait, hold on. Oh god, I wonder if we can talk about this. What was it? Stolen wants to do Demolition Man 2.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that.
Which we like. I know me and Dean have talked about it a couple times. We're like, he should have done like 3 or 4 more of those movies back then.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right.
And him doing one now would be so weird and so like it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, and like, what would even be the point? That was what was so great about doing it then, was you can get crazy with it. Now it's just gonna be old man Stallone and What? More of you and Bruce Willis and Dolph Lundgren running around chasing each other, old motherfuckers? No.
just in Rascals in the future.
Yeah. Chasing each other and hover around.
Wait, hold on. I gotta recharge my dialysis machine. Shit.
Simon
God damn it,
says take my medicine.
God damn it, I'm gonna sit in the sun with the solar panel. Just charge it. It's gonna be about 6 to 8 hours. Shit. Fuck, I hate the future.
Taco Bell again tonight, honey? Shit. I'm diabetic. I can't have more Taco Bell. My cholesterol's through the roof.
Well, it's either that or dehydrated seaweed, all right? You gotta pick one.
I hit the wrong seashell.
You never learned how to wipe properly, have you? You know, not tonight. When people are asking in the chat, like, when you guys drinking again, we should eventually get to Demolition Man as a drinking game and just talk about time and all that shit. That would be so much fun.
I love the movie so much. I'm down for that.
Fuck yeah! Yes.
We could do a Stallone in the '90s night. Judge Dredd, Demolition Man, and Cliffhanger.
My man.
I feel so bad for you, Kendo. Kendo's just like, I hate some of these movies.
No, Judge Dredd is a glorious piece of crap. Demolition Man's fun, and Cliffhanger's just like, ugh. All right.
Hey, do not shit on Cliffhanger. I love John Lithgow as the bad guy in every one of those movies, man. Fucking give me more of that.
How about you just watch Third Rock from the Sun instead?
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
Great show.
All right, TV show.
That's still a great show, man. I went through it recently, and I'm like, this is an amazing show. It's really good.
You mean co-starring a young Robin?
Yeah, who is also in Angels in the Outfield.
Yes, he is.
We've come full circle.
Yeah,
we should end the show right there. We've come full circle, folks. There's nothing left to achieve. There you go.
China can't beat us as long as we got Christopher Lloyd and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Did you just call him Johnson Gordon-Levitt?
I did.
Listen. He's making his name appropriate for China. Okay, calm down.
Use your real name, Robin.
Dude, I'll never forget looking over at you when we rolled our eyes. We're like, really?
Yeah. His name is Robin. So you're going to try to tell me he's going to use his real name to fight crime? Come on, Nolan. Come on, dude.
Oh, my God. It's such a heavy-handed callback.
It is. But I still love The Dark Knight Rises. I still love that one.
Ooh, our next super chat is a Star Wars one. I really like this one from Greendale Forever. Thank you very much. He says, I've always loved the Star Wars soundtrack. Aside from Rey's theme, not even John Williams' music was any good for the new trilogy. How can anyone enjoy the Force theme for the 20th time in a row?
See, well, I don't know. I don't think it's because of the time in the row that was the issue. Is the story. I mean, the great thing about John Williams is the dude is a master of matching what's going on the screen musically. You know, obviously that was proven with Superman and Jurassic Park too. But with Star Wars, you know, trying to relay a scene of hope and wanting to go out into space and do all this stuff musically is a difficult thing to do. It's very hard to make that happen when the story makes no fucking sense. So I think that wasn't about hearing it for the 20th time. It was that the fucking, you know, no one wants to hear a great score behind characters that are dumb. So exactly. that's not John's fault. That's fucking J.J. Abrams and Ruin Johnstein fucking it up for the rest of us.
Well, even though with that in mind, Dion, we can sit down, and just go, all right, hum off specific moments from the original trilogy score, and they're all going to be nice and unique and fun. The music from the sequel trilogy stuff is definitely lesser. Even the stuff that they borrow, like, even though officially it's not part of the sequel trilogy, but solo a Star Wars story during the Kessel run, all they did is I don't even think they reorchestrated. I think they just literally pulled off sound clips from the original soundtrack. So they had the music. I guess it would technically be called "The Death of Ben Kenobi," TIE Fighters Escape, or TIE Fighters Chase, or whatever. The one where they're fighting them off with the gun turrets. You know, they reused that score. They also reused part of the asteroid field music from The Empire Strikes Back. I do think, among many other things that come from the Disney sequel trilogy's downfall, The music is definitely lesser. And yes, Greendale, I'm with you specifically on the Force theme usage. Every damn trailer has to use that slow one-note piano, Force theme, all that crap. Like, that is... I get that you need to make Star Wars competitive in the modern landscape, in the modern marketplace, but the presentation that they've gone with, the presentation route, is so not Star Wars that it causes brand confusion. And I, for one, hate the new trilogy trailers more than the films themselves, because they fall into all the same boring, shitty tropes that most modern movies fall into. They've taken the novelty out of Star Wars. Like, you say what you will about the prequel era, but at least their trailers were cool. These aren't cool trailers. I mean, they don't have any big moments. The Darth Maul lightsaber ignition was the hook of that whole trailer. People were going in to go see, whatever movie was out from 20th Century Fox in early 99 or late 98, and they were going to go, just for the trailer and walk out. Same with Batman. I don't see that anymore. Mainly because you have YouTube views, but you also, if you look at other bigger Avengers trailer views, you're talking 3-1 sometimes in terms of views. So McKinney90, thank you very much. He says Tessa Thompson is Al Capone. Okay. You guys down with that? I am.
Well, I was going to say something to Greendale Forever.
Oh yeah, good.
Greendale Forever. See you at the next paintball tournament, and be careful of the bathrooms.
Is that a Psych reference or something?
No, that's a Greendale. That's a Greendale. That's a community reference.
Oh, Chevy Chase was on that one, right?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
The entire show's on Netflix.
Is that the one with Donald Glover as well?
That is him. That's a show. Yeah,
because they're doing like some kind of live table read or something during the beer bug.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So that's
well. I mean, the Russo brothers started on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started on that show. That's how they got, that's how they're able to like frame shots with a bunch of people in it and everything, and do the Avengers movies really well. Was they started on that show?
Psycho Dwarf 19, or sorry, Psycho Dwarf 9. Thank you very much. He says, I know a black 17 years of service master sergeant. I dare him to meet him and think disadvantaged. What was the point we were talking about? I'm sorry. I guess it was the Tessa Thompson colored thing, right? Is that what we're getting on a couple minutes ago? Yeah. I don't think, me personally, since I don't really, here's the weird part. Like, I was always raised, my mom's like, it's not about being black or white, you're just yourself. So I'm always kind of like, I'm just me. I don't really think of myself as a color. But to think somebody's disadvantaged with all that experience, I guess, makes Psycho Dwarf right about that stuff. So thank you, though. I don't know, this I guess armchair activism, but the way these people operate these days, it's just like, oh, we're going to be doing well by doing good. We're going to help the little guy. It's like, your pompous ass isn't helping anyone. Nope. You're just helping your own ego.
Well, yeah. I mean, and that's like, we say it all the time. Obviously, racism and institutionalized bigotry and stuff still exists, but a lot of it you can't put that all on that. Obviously, racism still exists. That shit that happened down in Georgia is proof of that. That being said, the guy that that dude has a lot of fucking world experience, which, you can't always say can't always blame the system, man. Can't always blame the system.
Yeah,
I learned that from the Lonely Island song. Oh, you can't trust the system.
Right.
I agree, Sloppy Joe. We should have a theme song. Guys, if we were to get a theme song written for the channel, what do you think our genre should be?
Listen, I know exactly who you should call to get a theme song made.
Oh, Dale.
Yes, Dale.
We do have an official favorite band. Dale Jepson,
we do.
The Nighthawks.
Yeah, you need to call up Dale because he ain't doing shit right now. He's drinking moonshine, and you need to hit him up.
So we have Kinder Dark in the chat asking about a soundtrack show. Do you think we should dedicate at least a portion of a show to some soundtrack talk one night?
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Cool. Then we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Private Halo again for your giant super chat. Thank you. I'm just going to read it again. I've been looking at my drone footage of Disney, and I can see someone walking around in it. I immediately thought Jason takes Disney. Happy that you're all safe and having fun. Congratulations on graduating college. The real world is just like Animal House. I kind of want to watch Animal House now. I always feel bad for Who's the one that's dating Karen Allen? Is it Tim Matheson, and she's sleeping with her teacher?
Yes. That's who it is.
Such a fun movie.
It's so much fun, and it's something that I don't think you could even make like 15 years ago.
Oh no, you couldn't. I don't think you can make Animal House since the new millennium. I think you could have gotten away with it up through the 90s.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely, you could have easily done it through the 80s, but once you get to about, I don't know, 98, 99, then I think you're kind of getting to the, I don't think we should say this type of thing. But definitely, we were watching 16 Candles the other night, and some of the shit they were saying in that movie, I'm like, they would never put this in a movie today. And it made me sad, but I also laughed my ass off at some of the lines that Long Duck Dong was saying. I'm just like, you know what? This is a product of its time, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to. You can't make me feel guilty about enjoying 16 Candles.
No, man, no,
Exactly.
don't feel good about enjoying those movies, man, because they're wonderful movies. There's great. There's something that Hollywood's missing are movies like that. Yeah, here and there's some of those off-color jokes. That's fun, but I mean that was part of the time. But those are great movies that you're still watching now that were made 20, 30 years ago, and that tells you that Hollywood's missing something because they can't make anything they will. I don't think they can make anything now that can stand the test of time that's going to be seen 20, 30 years from now, and people are going to be like, wow, this is still good. Still makes sense. Yeah, it's a product of its time. Yeah, some of the things they say don't make sense, but it's still a good movie,
Well, for two things. First off, Blue Watcher, see you later. But Nick, that comes back full circle to what we were saying earlier. When you're making these movies that appease these foreign markets that may watch it in the moment, but how much of a film's viability, like on video, is important these days? Because look at streaming rights. People will fight over streaming rights if it's something people want to watch. I find it hard to believe that people want to watch Friends the way they do, but Netflix dropped $100 million to keep it around. I mean, there's a demand for that shit. So some would say Friends is a garbage show. Dion is one of those people. I would agree that it's not a good show, but some people think it has that quality, that rewatchability. And it's because, yes, it is a very 90s show, but it's not like one of those old rap songs that says, Dr. Dre in 1994 and all this shit where it literally dates it. And you look at an Arthur Adams drawing and he puts the day and year they drew it in. So it's like, I get it, cool. But some of the, timeless stuff, you got to think how many times are like, okay, me, Back to the Future. How many times have I bought that movie on tape, on VHS tape, DVD, Blu-ray, Laserdisc, X, Y, and Z? Because I love it and I care about it. I can go see Avengers once in theaters and give them my $20, but if it's something that I feel is really worth a damn, I'm going to give it thousands of dollars to pick up this version and this piece of merchandise and this shirt and that mug and that hat and this and that. And if I owned a big IP like that, I would be in it for the long game, the sustainability, like Lucas did with Star Wars, not how Disney did with Star Wars, where we ran it into the ground, we blew our load, and it's over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a lot to bite off there in that, buddy. That being said, and that's one reason why you do not want to be so, and as I said before, when you worry about checking boxes instead of making a good story, the process of checking all those boxes dates what you're doing. Instead of coming up with something as a good story that touches someone like Back to the Future touched you. It's not getting heavy-handed because that dates the political environment of that time. So many shit that we're dealing with now, everything from everything the SJWs are complaining about to even the weird shit like Kirk Cameron. When you worry about checking boxes, everyone says, "Oh yeah, that's specifically from 2018. That's specifically that was a shitty thing we had to deal with in 2016. I don't want to fucking buy that. There's no story there. I'm not interested in that. That doesn't reach out to me. So that's why you want to focus on making something good. You can always, if you want to get a point across, you get a point across, but you're either subtle and you're smart and you let the script and the story make that statement for you. You don't heavy-handed it because no one's going to go back to relive the political jargon of 2019. No one. That's not an interesting story that anyone's gonna spend money on for the next 20 years. It's just not gonna happen. So that's the fun thing about actually good shit.
Well, somebody in the chat says Fast Times at Ridgemont High has aged better than Juno. I agree. I also think The Breakfast Club 30 years later, or almost 40 years later, is more relevant than any high school movie that's come out in a while because these movies are afraid to depict people as people. You know, nowadays everyone, and there's a difference between writing a film that's you want an archetype. So like a Luke Skywalker or Han Solo, you want an archetype. But then there's a difference that they can't find a way to write like a John Bender. And for some reason, Marvel, I keep giving them credit and also taking it away, but they get it right with characters like Captain America, Tony Stark, Star-Lord. They're doing it there. They're putting it on film. But then, you know, you also have these bland, lifeless sequel trilogy era characters. You have like any of the humans from Transformers and any of this stuff. There's just so many... Like the humanity is lost on a lot of these characters.
No one wants to hang out with someone that knows every goddamn thing. You know, Breakfast Club was awesome because it was these characters learning shit about each other and themselves over the course of the movie. Yeah, a lot of them are unlikable in the beginning. The movie ends, you like them. That journey of making mistakes and learning from them is what people. Even if you disagree with someone about something politically, obviously we got a little serious here on the show, you know. But every one of us can find common ground on that was a good character. That was a good story. That was interesting. That was fun. That hit me in the fucking feels. You know, very few things hit people in the feels harder than Emilio Estevez going on about how he felt fucking terrible about beating the shit out of some kid because his dad was going on about him being a wrestler. Like that scene is fucking crazy. You know, that's one and people who defend this is why people who defend the sequel Star Wars trilogy piss me off. I don't give a shit about someone who does everything right the first time for 3 movies. There's nothing there. If I know she's going to win from the beginning of the first one, why the fuck am I going to spend money to watch 2 more movies? That's not interesting. That shit, it's not fun. We want to, we talk about the hero's journey and obviously, the story arc naturally progressing where it feels organic. You don't get that when you make these one-sided, heavy-handed characters. That's not interesting. Try having a conversation with someone who is so sure that they know what's right all the goddamn time. You don't want to talk to that person. Why the fuck would you want to watch a story about this person? You're not going to. Let shit happen naturally. That's why so many movies like The Breakfast Club and Back to the Future and the original Star Wars, fucking, it translates so well. It's a story that we can fucking identify with 30 years later. That's what makes it so fun.
By the way, we had another member in the chat, Miss Ninja Julian, has a birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday tomorrow. I know we don't have a live stream tomorrow, so we can't wish you happy birthday on air.
Happy birthday.
But happy birthday to you, too. And he's going to celebrate with Fat Burger and play F-Zero X on the N64 and F-Zero GX on the GameCube. So
sounds like a good time.
I live by Fat Burger and Nintendo sounds like a good night. Have you guys ever had Fat Burger before?
I have not.
No.
It must. Is it California? Okay, it's a California thing. When you guys come out for some reason, because Celebration sure shit isn't going to happen this year, I'll take you guys to Fat Burger. It'll be a channel expense.
Well, I mean, they haven't said no yet. So
I know they haven't said no, but I mean, with everything else getting canceled, including the Olympics being pushed back, the Olympics, the Olympics, dude, Celebration's fun and all. But the Olympics is a much bigger deal. Slightly, but still a bigger deal.
Don't worry. They're LA's trying to get the Olympics, so you'll get a nice, juicy taste of that here in the future.
Won't be able to drive anywhere. Just stand still.
Yeah, your ass is still out there. You will get all the Olympics you can take, my man.
Well, we get WrestleMania first, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Thank God. Oh my God, I will whoop Corona's ass myself if they fuck with my WrestleMania again. I ain't going with this shit 2 years in a row, bitch.
Listen. I'm waiting for WrestleMania Vegas. Okay, that's what
another one. I wish they would.
Yeah,
they already scheduled the first game
that would be great.
In that stadium, and I know Kendo and I were talking about this before. That means that pretty soon they're gonna schedule WrestleMania in Vegas. God damn it! Ooh wee.
You know what we can do is if you guys should all come to WrestleMania next year. We go to WrestleMania on Sunday, so basically get here Thursday. Well, maybe Friday even. We do a couple LA things. Go to WrestleMania. After WrestleMania, let's just go to Vegas. It's only a 4-hour drive.
Ooh.
Listen, don't threaten me with a good time.
We'll all go to Vegas. We'll get a couple cheap rooms, or no, we'll get that giant suite we had last time. We got a suite at the Hilton in Vegas. We split it amongst a bunch of people, and we had a good time.
Hell yeah.
So,
those are the best kind when everyone's in the same thing, just getting rowdy and crazy. Obviously, we'll leave Mike Tyson's tiger at home.
yes, my favorite part.
Damn it.
You want to bring him? Okay, that's fine.
Fun. Oh yeah, okay, sure.
Your responsibility.
What do tigers dream of when they take a little tiger?
No,
Do they
little
dream of
tiger
falling
beds.
zebras? Or Halle Berry in her Catwoman suit? God, I love that
Get
movie.
killed by crystal meth tweakers. Well, then we're totally fucked.
The Accursed Hunter 01, thank you very much. Disney's treatment of Star Wars, along with other recent decisions, is a great example of no matter how big you are, you can't do whatever you want. I think that's an excellent statement right there. Because they're learning that I think they did learn, but their hubris is going to get the best of them with the Star Wars stuff. It's not there's no blind loyalty anymore. Everyone's had a chance to kind of see through the guys. So Accursed Hunter 01, I would like to add to that too, and this has been proven through history, no company is truly too big to fail. There were some companies in the past that they thought, oh my God, this is an industry that'll never end. Everybody needs this. Everybody uses that. And even they have fallen. Look at Kodak camera. Kodak was synonymous with film and everything, and they had a chance with the digital camera, and well, look where we are nowadays. I don't see too many Kodak branded things anywhere.
Yeah, they're like digital. Who's ever gonna need that? Oh shit.
Yeah, Blockbuster, Pan Am. I mean, all these other companies, man.
What happened to Pan Am? Because I watch all those Bond movies, and he always flies Pan Am, and I'm like, whatever happened to it? Did it just go out of business, or was there something bigger?
They went out of
got
business
bought by somebody.
Well, yeah, I think they originally went out of business because they just were. I think they went too big, too fast, or something. I can't remember the name of the documentary, but there's one from like 2010 or 11 that was really good. But right before they got bought, they just made a lot of really bad fucking business decisions.
No. What it was a lot of. I think the British Secret Service had a lot of complaints about a lot of pregnant airline attendant, airline women. That's what it was.
I mean, I like to bang too, but impregnating white chicks didn't make me lose my business. It's interesting. I like to know how that happened.
Too many lawsuits and not enough women wanting to work for Pan Am. They're just like, it ain't worth it.
Yeah, well, I mean, talk about man. That's why I love so many old movies, because Pan Am is just all over the place, and movies that get the time periods right. Like that's one reason I love Catch Me If You Can. It's just all Pan Am up there. I love it.
That was a good movie.
Since we keep talking about things in movies that you can't do or the things that aren't around anymore, we should just do a drinking stream for old movies. We take a shot every time that something that either isn't around anymore or something you can't do anymore.
Dude, if we watch Eddie Murphy Raw, we're all gonna black out.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
that's true.
We'll have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
God. $7, I can get blown for that.
For a Coke?
Did you get paid? Yeah. Did the people laugh? Well, tell Bill Cosby I said have a Coke and a smile. Shut the fuck up.
God.
Oh my God. He is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But God, that joke is still fucking hilarious. My son came and told me that you were talking. You said what word did I say? You said what word did I say? I can't say it. What word did I say? You said fuck.
You forgot filth, flarn, filth. I never said no filth, flarn, filth. Fuck you, I'm offended. God
damn. Oh, still my favorite stand-up.
You can't have no show.
Oh.
What'd you say? You cut out, Kendo.
Said you can't have just a curse show.
Oh, dude, I think that might be my favorite part where he goes, "Good night, cocksucker, motherfucker, good night," and just walks away.
Yeah. No, you gotta tell some jokes.
Oh shit, dude! Oh god, that part's so
One
funny.
part I'm
Probably
not gonna
the best comedy special ever.
Agreed.
I think
Agreed.
what's the sad part though about modern reviewers? They won't give it the praise it deserves because it's too offensive by today's standards. It's like, shut up.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you guys watch that thing? I think it was, what was it? Dave Chappelle getting an award or something on Netflix. That was got on there this month or whatever, or last month or something.
I didn't see that he got an award for one of his stand-up specials. I know he was also the latest one. He was talking about how they were trying, how he kind of got a lot of backlash for like his trans joke, and then for a lot of stuff. So while he was accepting it, which I thought was, very Dave Chappelle to do, which was fucking awesome. But yeah, man, I remember hearing a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Now, this one's interesting. Our friend Barney, the Spaceosaurus Woke Reeks, says the Oscars put out a statement saying that only movies released digitally on VOD and or streaming can be nominated for Best Picture due to COVID-19.
Oh,
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
No, I cannot. I'm serious. It says it right here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, I read it myself.
Go get me an espresso with a fucking lemon twist. Okay, get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
you should try it. It's good.
Yeah. Sure. No trouble. No, don't be stupid.
What is it regarding? I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
Meaning regarding. What's it? Oh, what's it regarding? I'm an old acquaintance. Danae?
You go get Miss Summers.
I wanted you know what I wanted. Oh god, I really wanted to watch those movies really badly, and I was like, I wonder if I have them on like Blu-ray. No, I don't. I bought a 3-pack for $10 off Amazon. And I was like, I've been watching them for the past like couple weeks now, and I was like, man, I really miss you guys.
Dude,
I really, because like we talk about it every time we're together, we watch it every time we're together. I'm like, man, I really fucking miss you guys.
I know,
this
man.
sucks, man.
This
fucking sucks.
It blows. It's funny too that you mentioned that, because one of the other pages that Jeff and I are part of on Facebook, the 80s films or whatever, and someone was like, well, name. Everyone put a movie line from your favorite film, and someone totally fucking quoted Beverly Hills Cop 2. Like, everybody go home. Max fucked it up for everybody. And I just started laughing so hard. And I too was just like, God damn it, I miss my friends. I want to watch this movie with them because I fucking love this movie. And it's just so like, you just like hear that line, I just bust out fucking laughing. Like, everybody go home. Max fucked it up for everybody.
I love how he throws his arms up in the air.
I did it too. Right when I said I had to throw my hands up. Oh my god!
I think I'm gonna re-download GTA and play that here soon because of the references they have for that movie in there as well. So, man,
you can tell that we're all great friends when we just randomly dive into quoting a movie back and forth.
God damn, so good.
I don't know if the virus has gotten to us or we're just that desperate for fun, but
we're that desperate for fun.
No, but to give. To jump onto the Barney the Space Source Woke Reeks, 2021 Oscars are going to be very interesting. I think we should do another live stream of them, boys.
Yes, we should. Yes,
it was really fun. We had a blast doing it, dude. We definitely got to do it again.
Our friend Cesare Japan says, Josh has got a gun. Josh has got a gun. His whole world's come undone. From looking straight at the soy, what did IMDb do? I have to be actually drunk to sing on this channel. So.
Listen, that a dude doesn't have a bunch of guy friends when he says some goofy shit like that, like, oh man, they gave me so much shit on this IMDb forum page that I had to go buy a gun. Dudes were like, what the fuck, you IMDb, bitch? I'll punch you in the face now so you can really be scared. What do you mean IMDb fan page made you scared? Don't be a pussy, dude. We can't be friends if you're saying that shit.
I hope to God we never see him in person. I'm just gonna be like, this fucking pussy, this motherfucker,
dude.
Yeah.
Like, and he's just one of those dudes that it's just like one of those like puffy chest tough guys like in the bar because he knows that someone's gonna like come in and break it up. Like, oh man, fuck man, if I had my gun right here, I'd be like, do it, bitch, fucking pull it, because IMDb scares you so bad that you can't sleep for a week, bitch. Shut up. Why don't you go call Michael B. Jordan and send him a "you up" text?
That is the lamest thing I've ever heard some famous person go, oh god, they're talking about me on IMDb. You guess where they talk about us? IMDb. Well, at least they give us terrible ratings on IMDb. Do we freak out? No.
Oh god, I can't imagine the whole scenario going down. He texts him, "You up?" He's like, "Yeah, I am." It's like, "I'm at the bar, man. These guys are intimidating me." Oh God, how much, Josh? What? How much you gonna pay me to come down there out of bed right now to come save your white ass? I don't know, man. I got no money right now. Well, fuck it. Goodbye.
You know how the Dion version of that call goes? Hey, Dion, where you at? I don't know.
Check out my Snapchat. That's how you know where I am.
That is still your crowning achievement. That's my favorite line. Those are hours of my life I'll never get back. Oh my God, so much fun. And for those in the chat that are like, I don't know what you're talking about, we went to WrestleMania in 2018 down in New Orleans. We had a great time. We went out, we drank on Bourbon Street, got back that night. We all woke up roughly around the same time the next morning, and we all got the Snapchat from Dion. And it's Dion in a restaurant at like 3 or 4 in the morning talking about these crazy people in the booth. And I'm like, Dion, when did you go out? Where'd you go? He's like, I don't know.
No. So first to clarify, which I went back and I happened to go on my Snapchat last week and I saw the one where I took a picture of another black dude and he's staring at me as I'm taking a picture of him with my phone. I'm just like 2 black guys in a theater. They're both alone or something like that. And he's just looking at me as I take a picture of him. I was just like, Hillary's like, I need a back. I was like, I don't know what happened. But just for clarification, now we're all laughing about it, The group wasn't very happy with me, but they were like, yo, so you went out by yourself? And I was like, I didn't believe him. I was like, no, I didn't, dude. And then Jeff's like, he's like, I have it on my phone. I was like, I didn't go out, but I would remember that. He goes, you sent me Snapchats. You went out by yourself. I said, let me see. Like it's somebody else. And he shows me, and sure enough, I sent these fucking crazy ass Snapchats. I was like, dude, I don't remember any of that. That's hours I can't get back. And sure enough, dude, I drunkenly stumbled around the corner to a 24-hour diner and was randomly taking Snapchats of another black dude who happened to be in there eating by himself too. It was fucking ridiculous. And they were just like, yeah, don't do that shit again. Like, I know, I didn't do it on purpose. Oh
my God.
Literally just going through my Snapchat and I just see the picture that I took of this dude and he's just eating, just looking at me. And I just randomly taking it. I'm in the picture. I'm just like, hey, another black dude at the diner by himself. I wonder what he's thinking about or some shit. I'm just like, what the fuck?
I think it's funny you're in New Orleans. You're like, look, another black person. And it's like, dude, it's New Orleans.
Yeah, it's New Orleans. It's not Kansas. Jeez.
Yeah, we're free down here, Oh shit! Oh, that's by far my favorite Mania trip. God damn, that was so fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Next year's be crazy.
It's gonna be crazy, and I still laugh about fucking the Roman Reigns match, and Ken just being like, "Okay, I'm done." And he's just like, "I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this shit. I'm not watching Roman Reigns.
Yep.
I'm leaving." I still laugh my ass off. He's just like, that man was like, "I'm not watching the Roman Reigns match. I'm out.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'll meet you motherfuckers back in the room." Like, all right, I respect that dude right there.
Yeah.
Nick and I bounced. It was fun.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Because I mean, I think it was Roman Reigns and who was it? Roman Reigns and
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
Fuck him too, man. Yeah, because I mean, his matches are short and it's not fun. I just didn't care. I was like, yeah, let's just go. It's fine.
Hey, Nick got the Hardy Boys come back, so he was happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. That was great. I was walking out just to take a piss, and all of a sudden it happened. The entire ring explodes. I was like, what the fuck happened? And I go back and look, and I was like, the Hardy Boys. I was like, oh shit, I better pee quick. So. Pudding Tang Taco says Hollywood is run by Satanists and P.Edos. Saudi money is not a deal breaker.
There's a lot of them that work out there. One of them's old ass is going under the jail, so you're not exactly that far off from the truth there, buddy.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to know, Pudding Tang Taco, when does it stop? I mean, Pudding Tang Taco has a couple more. I'll read those because they're all in a row. Thank you for everything, Pudding Tang Taco. Says Captain Marvel 2 starring Mia Khalifa.
I mean, I actually watched that. Yeah, I actually watched that.
I'll pre-order that one.
That one better come out in 4K, damn it.
I don't want to show my body. Yeah, you do. I've seen it before. Just do it. Just make it easier for all of us, man. Come on.
Just do it.
Question for you guys: would you go see that Captain Marvel in IMAX?
Oh, of course.
I would want to see that in IMAX.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be worth it. They could do pre-orders for that, and everybody would buy a ticket. I mean, come on.
And then Pudding Tang Taco says China's new hit DC movie, The Fresh, starring some hung guy.
Why am I laughing so hard?
I don't know.
Oh my god!
Because this is a great show. That's why.
Yes. This is what people need right now. It's like, hey, there's not much to look forward to. You already got your stimulus check. Listen to our show. You'll laugh.
Yeah. At least listening to us will make the time go by easier.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Ron W, thank you for a very generous super chat. Ron says, what are your thoughts on actors and actresses taking lower payments and getting a percentage of profit for movies so they have a stake in it being good instead of, here's my payday, don't care if a movie fails?
I mean, the only thing about that is that can get you in trouble because if they have a stake and the movie does really, really well, at that point, the studio owes that actor and actress a shit ton of money because that's what they did with RDJ. And, luckily he did it because he knew what he was doing, but he restructured his contract because I think it was he originally got like 5% of the overall money from the movie. So, I mean, that first Avengers movie, he made a fuck ton of money. So that's definitely a flip of the coin because if you're right and your movie's really good, you gotta pay up. So be careful with 10% contracts, man, because it's a lot of moolah.
Who was the person that made that point? Ron. I don't think it's a terrible concept. I do think that actors are going to need to take a lower upfront payment because of the way movies are going to be consumed soon. I don't see how you can afford to pay, I don't know, let's say you have a payroll of $100 million alone just from the acting part for a movie that's going to go to Netflix and maybe bring you, or streaming and maybe bring you $100 million. Does that mean your crew has to work for free? No. Those are union jobs. Those are the people that are integral to they're all the working parts that make everything run smoothly. I think Ron's concept is fairly sound. If you're going to, let's say you really want Ryan Reynolds involved in your picture, Hulu, and you can't afford to pay him $20 million up front, maybe don't give him as much creative control, just a cut of the money. I think Jack Nicholson made a ton of money from Batman due to merchandising. So give him some kind of deal that's going to get big names attached to smaller projects. There's a way to make it happen. So
yeah, and I mean, I think with the new climate, you're going to have a lot of studios start really going through the pool of actors and start getting a lot of lesser known and a lot of no name people just so they can not have to pay premiums for them and things like that. And then they might get one or two people you might have heard of or something like that, just kind of get the notoriety out and get people to come watch the movie. So it's gonna be weird time. Weird time.
Space Monkey 0899, thank you very much. He says Japan makes films for Japanese first and then sells it to the rest of the world. And that's why some of their culture is the most compelling of anywhere on the planet in terms of popular culture. I don't think that's bad to have a cultural identity on film. Do you guys?
No, I mean that's part of the differences of people that make the stories interesting.
And look at their IPs as well. I mean, Japan has some of the most sought-after IPs. People want to adapt all these anime and manga adaptations into big live-action films. I mean, how long have they been working on Akira? Forever, with Keanu Reeves, without Keanu Reeves. We're going to have a live-action Cowboy Bebop show, this, that, and the other. But I think it's because Space Monkey 089, or not Space Monkey, but Japan does that the way they do, and people want it because it's good.
Oh yeah, of course.
And even then, that so much of that came out of the aftermath of World War II. So many of their entertainment was, born out of, the nuclear era, and that shit, that type of shit was so interesting, and it's so far reaching, that it's unfucking deniable. Things like Godzilla, kaiju, and all, it's just. You don't want to stifle that type of creativity, but by trying to check boxes. It's like, that's what makes it different and makes it so interesting.
Yeah, our differences are what make us great, not this homogenized crap called X, Y, and Z film. I do like the unique approach, and it's sad though that the unique approach is lost on a lot of modern stuff. So,
yeah, it really is. But I mean, with with what's happening now, we might see that turn around, but who knows?
I think we will.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But thank you very much, Space Monkey. Uncultured Barbarian, thank you very much. Which company is more likely to be Baskin and never financially recover? Disney or Naughty Dog?
Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog.
Video
Yeah,
games are a different animal.
Yeah, Disney has way deeper pockets.
Yeah, and that's what I even need to remember, that they do have a lot going for them, but eventually you can be bled dry. So if this goes on long enough, even the mighty can fall.
Yeah, one bad mistake and you get rid of the people who have been buying your shit. Whew, that's you're looking at a whole different era, baby. And I think that's what Naughty Dogs, they're staring down that barrel right fucking now.
Yeah, and anybody who doesn't want to buy the gamers against it, don't tweet them, don't Facebook message them, don't at them, don't do any of that. Just don't use your money to buy their game. Do not give them any money for the game. That's that's the biggest, the loudest protest you can ever give. Not 100 tweets or whatever about how you hate their stuff and you think they're dog shit. No, just don't give them money for their game, and they will, and they'll get the message loud and clear.
Right, give it a chance, but if the shit ain't good, don't buy it.
The Master 012, thank you very much. Is there truth to the rumors that Iger wants to enter politics? His folly with Star Wars and Darth Kennedy ensures he'd go down like the Hindenburg. I've heard that come from Jeremy quite a bit. Bob Iger's political aspirations to run for president. I don't see it. I'm just going to go with no. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't see that happening. He's not that important of a person.
No.
I just think he's the head of a company that is responsible for altering and ruining Star Wars, but I don't think Bob Iger will ever make it in the political landscape. I could be wrong. Prove me wrong. I don't, it's not about my pride right now. It's just I don't think that's what's going to happen. Stratos Radio Blues, thank you very much. He says, China doesn't want anything Tibet, Japan, Hong Kong, or Taiwan related, especially pointing them in a positive light. Red Dawn remake was originally U.S. versus China. I do remember that one. You guys?
Yep. Yeah, that's why I was shelved for a couple of years, and then once Chris Hemsworth became a big name, then they pulled it off the shelf. I'm like, okay, well, we'll show it now. We'll start advertising for it, So,
well, it got changed to North Korea. So,
oh, that's right, it did. Yeah.
So it's obviously the geopolitical climate and events are very difficult to navigate. But yeah, man, it's interesting, especially with now we got there's all these changes in Hollywood, man. It's fucking nuts.
We also had our friend Harry P. Ness, who says, I didn't do 4 years in the Navy to let Dion come in here and turn our entertainment over to China.
There you go. Well, first, thank you for your service. That's awesome. And you're a tough son of a bitch. But I will say to you what my dad used to say to me about guys in the Navy. Their biggest thing that they do is get on the boat, go over, come back and say, hey, guys, we're in a fight. So, thanks.
What? What? I don't even know how to respond to that. Thank you, though, Harry. Thank you, Harry, for your service. Megatron Prime says Thanos should have beaten Captain Marvel without the gauntlet. Yeah. And into submission, pummel her face into dirt. I would have made a much better film.
Thanos should have backhanded her. Okay, that's what he should have done.
I think it was super more fitting that he just headbutted her so hard she went out of the fucking movie. I think that's because it pissed off those fans that were campaigning so hard for her, and especially if you remember right before Endgame, she's more powerful than Thanos. He's only more powerful because of the gauntlet. And then just to have that movie where even the Russos were like, yeah, we can't do this shit. Just get her out of here. Headbutt, gone. That's the most fitting ever. Ever.
If only we never had to see her ever again, that'd be great. It'd be like Judy
We probably
Winslow.
won't. I don't believe that would be awesome. But I don't believe in Captain Marvel 2. That shit, we haven't seen or heard shit about it. Listen, I think Brie Larson, she fucked it up for herself hardcore.
Maybe Captain Marvel will die on her way back to her home planet.
Yeah, Poochie style.
Yeah, she gets caught in a black hole and just can't get out.
That would be the greatest. I honestly wouldn't be mad if let's say Captain Marvel 2 is hitting the theater. You're in the first 5 minutes, you get sucked into a black hole, and the rest of it's just void. It's just a black screen. I'd be like, all right, cool. Well, she's dead, so I don't have to worry about theater ever again. Problem solved.
Oh my god.
Justin B, thank you very much for your super chat. I'm going to read it one more time. Thank you again. He says, I don't like the sound of that bill. I don't want the government involved in video games because they get in the door, they will try to take the house. Same for Hollywood. They shouldn't side with China, but the government shouldn't have control or shouldn't take control. We did definitely cover a lot of the socio-political stuff. If you're one of the newer people to the stream, this is a stream that you want to go back and watch the full replay of, because over the last few weeks, guys, we've been kind of getting back into some more serious stuff, but we've also had an amazing turnout. So I think there's a new balance to be struck here. Definitely fun, but sometimes you got to address the harder topics to cover.
For sure, dude.
Jerry J, thank you very much for a super chat sticker. It says, hey you, and it's a pair. So hey you, Jerry J, right back to you. Thank you. Thunder Robot says, on the plus side of quarantine with no where to go or no money to spend, I've been able to pull my money. On the plus side of quarantine with nowhere to go to spend my money, I've been able to put all my money to bills and get caught up because of hashtag Solo lost money. There we go. Solo did lose money.
Sure did.
Have you guys watched it since it came out?
Nope.
No.
Whatever we did for the channel that one time was the last time I've even thought about watching Solo.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. So, yes, I have watched it that one time since it came out.
It was not a good once.
No.
TLJ Screwjob, thank you very much. He says, the thing with The Last of Us 2 and other things, it will never be their fault if they fail. It'll be our fault for being transphobic or other fallacies. That's a nail on the head right there.
I mean, in their eyes, that's true, but also they have bills to pay, and if we don't give them any money, they're going to go get bought up by some other company or just, not be company tomorrow. So, whatever.
I think the best thing we'll ever get from a company like a Naughty Dog is the public go, we misread the audience and their demands and their desires, so we'll change that and fix the course moving forward or some bullshit. That's the best we'll ever get from a company. I don't think they'll ever admit to that. But you're right, TLJ Screwjob. It's always about placing the blame. I just use the word excuse because there's always an excuse in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Hellboy underperformed. It's the Guillermo del Toro fans. They're the reason it failed.
You mean the fans who actually like good movies that are well made? Yeah, it's totally their fault, entirely their fault. Sure, it is.
Yeah, well, there's enough of them to fucking make you lose $60 million fucking dollars. Yeah, okay.
It's like eat a dick, David Harbour.
Yeah,
big fat one.
You fucked up. Deal with it. Take it on the chest like a man. You fucked up.
Yeah. So we also have where we're at. Sorry, I was trying to get things set up. I'm going to be on another stream tonight with Jesse. I got the link in the chat. We're going to be having Merry Mayhem on. I think it's one of those Merry Mayhem drinking streams or something. I know on Saturday night I'll be on some improv show over on Merry Mayhem's channel. So if you want more of the World Class Bullshitters brand of entertainment, join us over there both nights, later tonight and Saturday night. So it's going to be kind of fun, and I'm in a weird mood because I'm kind of sick and kind of out of it. So it'll be funny. You can laugh at my expense. I don't give a shit. Ninja Warrior Steve says they shot at the Natural History Museum in Los Angeles. They had just started dismantling it, so luckily the spider was back in his cage. Oh, okay. So Ninja Warrior Steve was giving us an elaboration on the Spider-Man set, Natural History Museum in Los Angeles. I did not know that's where it was filmed.
It's not a story of the Jedi, I'll tell you, buddy.
That is true. I do love that movie, though, so much. I love to learn as much about it as possible. Dylan Shepard, thank you very much. He says Samsung all the way. Samsung all the way. Window phone will be made a good coaster.
Yeah, Samsung until they they can trigger their mics and their TVs to turn on and off whenever they want to. That's always fun.
I don't think the only Samsung product I've ever owned isn't even mine. It's this Samsung Blu-ray player of Jesse's. So, but I'm cool with them as a company, except when their phones explode in your pocket.
Yeah. That's always a bad thing.
Up next is Wander. Thank you very much, Wander. Time is a physical thing, not just a human perception.
Stop dropping acid with Kendo.
I would watch
acid.
a show called Dropping Acid with Kendo. It's just talking about.
I'd watch it every fucking week. And
call
on
him
this
Drop
week in Dropping Acid with Kendo, we're gonna talk about sound. Does that shit even exist, bro?
We really need a sketch show so we can turn these into little bits.
Dude,
Folks, send us your super chats and your Patreon money so we can get a sketch show going.
Yes,
We need it.
I want to
You
see Kendo doing that skit. He'd be so good at that. Oh fuck, man! And then today, in today's week of doing acid with Kendo, shadow people. Should we be worried?
There's one behind you right now.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, he's right there, Dion. Right behind you.
Oh, God damn it. Fuck you.
Yeah, send us your super chats to your Patreon because you need this. You need the sketch show more than we do.
Actually, write your congressman and let get your states opened up, and we'll come film it at your state. There we go.
That's right. Go send a letter to Ted Cruz and have him write a bill to get WCBs some goddamn funding. Let's reinvent the real hill, people. Let's do it.
I mean, Elon Musk is busy naming his kids after batteries and shit. Why not cut us a check while you're at it? I'm feeling generous.
God, he's busy with that and shooting Tom Cruise into space.
Can we just talk about that
Yeah.
briefly? Like, is it gonna work? I'm gonna go with yes.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I hope so.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. They made Apollo 13 and using the what is it, the vomit comet plane that would go up and down, and you make make things look weightless and stuff whenever they needed to. But that was a lot, and then that was a lot of money. But I don't know about making an actual movie in space like that makes there are so many problems with that. And it's like is this going to be Tom Cruise on like reality TV with a bunch of security cameras like looking on and off? Like, what are you going to do? You can't fire guns. You can't have fake bombs. Like, what are you going to do? What's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
They'll fix it in post.
Nick's favorite phrase.
Oh God, that phrase makes me want to shoot myself.
Well, speaking of, well, don't shoot yourself. Anyway, TLJ Screwjob says Kathleen Kennedy will admit to ruining Star Wars before New Mutants is out.
Shit.
Yeah.
God, on her deathbed, I ruined Star Wars.
I'm sorry.
Bud.
Rose, Tico.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, perfect. Stratos Radio Blues is a real hero. He says, if I could time travel, I would send myself future lottery numbers and rise MySpace from the ashes.
Yeah. I like it. I can dig it.
Dude, Tom wouldn't fuck with you the way Zuck does.
That's true. That's true.
Tom was your friend.
He was always your friend.
Tom always had one of my top 8 spaces. No, do you remember like having to format your MySpace page? Like you had to go into the code and like embed like
Yep.
I learned I remember when I used to have to like learn HTML that way. Of making things bold and italics and all that other shit and trying to put all the HTML code in them, everything. I remember having music play as soon as somebody got to your page and how annoying that was sometimes. Like it was I remember that. It was so much fun because it was just kind of raw and they didn't know what they were doing. You had the ability to like change your stuff and it was a good time. But Facebook is just it's Facebook. So
Facebook is life. Facebook owns us all.
Jeez. Trust me, but if I didn't have to do marketing for a lot of things, I wouldn't use any of the shit. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care.
Uncultured Barbarian, thank you. Says John Lithgow was awesomely badass in Ricochet.
Yes. I fucking love that movie.
Oh my God. I love John Lithgow in general. That man can do anything. I swear.
Yes,
he's so fucking talented. Oh, he's great.
Ricochet is such a crazy movie. Fucking Ice-T's in that movie too, people. Let's not forget about that. It's Ice-T playing Ice-T.
Oh shit, dude.
I
God,
love
Ricochet.
Ice-T.
Dude, Ricochet is it's ridiculous, but it's so good.
Gives him fucking gonorrhea and shit.
Yeah, sends a tape to his family and everything. Like, oh man, it's such a crazy movie.
We need to play a game called Dion Describes a Movie, and you just ramble for 2 minutes about gonorrhea and shit in movies. That's the bit. That's the bit right there.
He gives them gonorrhea, and then there are shadow people. And then just leave
Oh
it
fuck!
at
Shadow
that.
people.
What?
Oh my god!
Shadow people. What?
These were the delusions of a madman pre-stroke, and then he dies. Movie.
Do I smell toast?
Anyway, Harry P. Nest says Nick has a contagious laugh. It'll be sad to see it stifled by Dion's communist regime after he's embraced the Jane philosophy.
Oh jeez.
Just accept it, comrade.
No. Take it out of my cold dead hands.
I served the Soviet Union, brother.
Oh
Comrade.
god.
Dovalish. Dovalish.
007 Cloud says, wouldn't Rey be that bitch Carol Baskin? She took everything from Luke, including his name.
Oh,
Dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's official. 007 Cloud's got it right. Rey is that bitch Carol Baskin.
Carol fucking Baskin.
Bikini 90, thank you very much. He asks, have you guys ever seen Easy A or Mean Girls? Are those films still relevant today? Dion, have you ever seen Easy A?
Sadly.
In
Fuck
theaters? At a pre-screening in Lansing, Michigan in 2010?
I don't remember the specifics. I think you're kind of ad-libbing a little bit there, buddy. I don't think about that.
Sitting next to me?
Jesus.
Nope. Never happened.
I think you're thinking of somebody else actually. Now that you mention it.
You're thinking of another African American fellow.
My other best friend?
Right. The other one happened to be named Dion. I don't remember that, buddy.
I was like, Dustin didn't go see that movie back then. Now, have you seen Mean Girls yet, Dion?
I have not.
He has not seen it yet, Jesse.
No, I'm available whenever he wants to watch it.
Jesse's available anytime you want to watch it.
She is just such a nice, soft kitten over there, just willing to watch Mean Girls with me.
He says you're a nice, soft kitten willing to watch Mean Girls with him. Yeah, people in the chat are saying Easy A is actually decent. It wasn't terrible. That's the thing.
Yeah.
No, it was terrible. All you are fucking liars. Fuck that movie.
The best part of the movie is when the girl betrays her best friend and you go, "Are you serious?" And the whole theater erupts in laughter. That's all I remember.
Yeah, it was last time Amanda Bynes was somewhat normal.
Jesus. That's a long time ago.
But McKinney 90, to answer your actual question, I do think they're still relevant because you got to show. You don't want to show these like high school kids like you do in Spider-Man, where they're just kind of like a little edgy, but you can't say stuff because of a PG-13 rating or whatever. Like, when we were all in high school, we were saying, fucking all this stuff.
You were saying horrible shit.
Yeah, probably worse stuff than we say now as an adult because we really mellowed out as people. But this whole trying to like sanitize the youth in these movies, there's also something to be said though when you do the extreme opposite, when you try to have these. It works for the Goonies. It works for other things. But like that movie, what was it? The Good Boys that came out this past year. It was a big flop because the whole selling point was kids that cuss.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's a time and place for all this shit in a window. And I really don't think that those movies that you brought up are irrelevant. I do think they have a place. Mean Girls, especially for Jesse swears by it and quotes it. It's just it's a movie that appeals to, and guys like it too. My friend Garrett from college, you remember Garrett Dion? He would go on about Mean Girls all the time because it was filmed by where he lived. So
yeah, he was a little weirdo too.
Yes, very much, but still, he was obsessed. Uncultured Barbarian says another movie they couldn't make today: Roadhouse.
They tried. They wanted to.
With Ronda Rousey, right?
Yep, they wanted Ronda Rousey to be in it. So.
Let me rephrase that. Another movie they can't make today, Roadhouse. There we go.
Ooh.
Gotta get it right. Roadhouse.
Well,
That's Family Guy joke where he kicks the car.
It is. Yep, Roadhouse.
Oh.
Alex Powers 2.0, thank you very much. He says, some kind of wonderful, really underrated John Hughes movie. Great soundtrack. Now, is that actually a John Hughes flick or is that a Howard Deutsch film? Alex Powers, because I don't know. It's like Pretty in Pink. I think that's a Howard Deutsch film too, but I could be completely wrong. Is it John Hughes? I just thought it was... Okay, it's directed by Howard Deutsch, but it's screenplay and produced by John Hughes.
Correct, yeah.
And I think that's the movie where Leah Thompson met her husband because she's married to Howard Deutsch.
Okay.
Damn.
And it has Eric Stoltz, Mary Stuart Masterson, Leah Thompson, Craig Schaefer, Elias Codius, and John Ashton, a.k.a. Taggart from Beverly Hills Cop.
That's where I got to start.
I don't know. Well, this movie's from 1987, the same year Beverly Hills Cop 2 came out. So I don't know if that assessment holds weight, Nick, but I'm going to say maybe.
Okay, thanks.
Stratos Radio Blues, thank you very much. Oh, by the way, Alex Powers, I'll have to check out the soundtrack because I don't know that movie off the top of my head. As much as I love 80s flicks, that's one that's not really on my radar.
Okay, also Craig Schaefer's picture looks fucking ridiculous on Google.
Oh, he does. I'm scared of him.
Like it looks like a president made picture. And it's just like, no, dude, you're not that hard. I'm sorry. You're not that tough.
By the way, we can get copies of the soundtrack to the movie Some Kind of Wonderful. They're on sale on Amazon for $9.93 on disc. But how can we get it? We can get it used for $8.44. Oof, what a hell of a deal.
Oh my gosh, on disc?
But if we want to
future.
If we want to live dangerously, guys, we can get it for as low as $1.73.
Ooh.
From ABQ Books with a 99% positive rating out of 757. So
I'm going to say pass.
Deal.
You sure, Kendo? I feel it'll be perfect for you.
Nah, I think I could live without it.
Fair enough. We will not force you to listen to a disc you don't want to listen to.
Thank you.
Let's see. Stratus Radio Blues says, you guys deserve a Miami Vice theme with camera transitions of you guys in 80 suits, comic book collection, and Burning Rose Tico dolls.
I'm in.
Don't tell us about a good time.
Stratus Radio Blues clearly understands us not as just world-class bullshitters, but as people. And yes, we do deserve a Miami Vice theme. We need to go to Miami and film. See, that's the thing I had. Like when we want to do this skit show, we want to do these things and grow the channel. I can imagine like how much fun we'd have filming the little like bumpers for TV. The TV spots, those would be the most fun because it's like we've already done all the work. Now we just fuck around and jump in front of a camera and be like, "World class bullshitters coming soon." People are like, "What's that?" And then they give it a watch and they're like, "Oh, it's pretty good." And then we have to top ourselves and then we fall apart and we hate each other. And then Kendo dies.
Wait, what?
He was never a fan of what we put out.
Sorry. Run that one by again.
What, the part I said or Dion?
It doesn't matter at this point. I'm gonna have to, start thinking
Fix
things
it in
differently.
post.
Damn it, no.
Fuck it, we'll do it live, okay?
Oh, fine. Listen, Jeff. Just message Harold Faltermeyer and have him do our theme, okay?
I'll ask Harold Faltermeyer. We're good personal buddies because I bought everything he's ever made.
Yeah,
so.
Man. I'm sure he knows you. It's fine. It's fine.
Uncultured Barbarian, thank you very much again. He says, have you seen that Flash Gordon is getting remastered in 4K? First wave, dive!
You know what?
I can't wait to fucking buy it.
You know what? That's good. At least not replacing him with a female or whatever. Again, so they're not trying to remake it or whatever. That's fine. If they're releasing it in 4K, that's awesome. I can't wait. Oh god, at least they're not going to remake it.
I'm not necessarily the biggest fan, but I'd check it out.
It's beyond ridiculous, and you should totally check it out.
Perry White in the chat says WCBS artwork in the GTA Vice City style. You remember when we had the Vice City poster, guys?
Hell yeah,
dude!
Yes.
I think me and Kenda still have the shirts, right, Kenda?
I do. Yeah.
Hold on, let's see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, man. I was looking at my shirt. I got to wash it all the goddamn time because I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it pretty often. So
let's see if this will show up because you can share some windows on screen yards, but not other. Oh, good, it'll work. Here we go. We do have a GTA. Remember this poster, guys?
Oh my god, there it is.
Taking us back.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Before Kendo was on the show.
Yeah, before Kendo and back when the others just stopped showing up.
Yeah, that honestly, folks, if you ever wonder why there was a change of guard, people just didn't show up and they didn't tell us. They're just like, oh, I've been going through stuff for 8 weeks. Sorry I didn't tell you. I'm like, well, you're gone.
Right.
So
oh my god. Yeah. We need a new GTA shirt. Because everybody loves that shirt whenever I wear it. They're always like, oh, GTA. I'm just like, no, read it again. Like, oh shit.
Well, don't worry. We have a a slew of new stuff coming out. It was supposed to launch at Horror Hound, but thank you, Beer Bug. That slowed the thing down. But there we go. Yeah, Donkey Source Rex, hadn't seen that classic in a while. Yeah, that was I think I made this 1 year into the channel's exist as a podcast. I was like, I love Grand Theft Auto. We should do Grand Theft Auto style artwork, and then boom, that's what happened. And
I just remember Dustin, aka Curtis, aka Praxis, aka What's His Nuts, being like, because you made the trailer for the channel, and it ends with him being like, I can't stop looking at these dicks. And after a while, he just got like, so he was like, man, I hate that that's in there. It's just me saying I can't stop looking at dicks, and we're just like, you said it. And now, I don't know why that always made me funny. Always made me laugh that he said it, and he was just like, oh man, I just don't like that. There's a voice of me on the internet saying I can't stop looking at dicks.
You shouldn't have said it, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
You wanted to be Howard Stern, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not what the show was ever about. But hey, I do love the little substance under Dustin's nose.
Absolutely. Sometimes you just need to pick me up.
Oh, dude, when I was putting together some files for something, I found our Christmas card that we never released.
Oh my god, that was so good.
I'll show that maybe next week. I'll show that or something.
There
How's
you go.
that?
Yeah, definitely.
But I'll leave this poster up for a minute while I read the next super chat. But yeah, there you go. We did have a Grand Theft Auto style poster many moons ago. We were all Vice City'd out. But maybe I'll do an 80s one where we all have big glasses and, coked up noses. I don't know.
I'm down for that. That sounds
Little
awesome.
tootsie, little tootsie.
Leo Breaker 49 says, Dion, the exploratory drunk.
Someone's got to do it. The world has to be explored, and I'm the guy.
As long as you always find your way back home, Dion, we're good.
Absolutely.
TLJ Screwjob says, Bork Laser, golf clubs, things only Naughty Dog knows. Yakase says, you guys are killing my ribs. Thanks, with a bunch of smiling faces and a laughing.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome. You know you need it right now.
Yeah.
You need it real bad right now. So that's what we're here for.
We're all just having a hell of a time tonight. Private Halo, thank you very much. Again, he says, Luke writing Godzilla, the stories. Luke writing Godzilla, the stories Lucasfilm. Luke writing Godzilla, the stories Lucasfilm. I don't know what you actually mean by that one, Private Halo. What do you guys think he means?
He means like Luke writing him, and that's supposed to be the next Lucasfilm.
Well, no,
thing?
Luke writing, like WRITING. Luke writing Godzilla, the stories Lucasfilm.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a little anthology of Luke Skywalker stories about Godzilla.
I would
the Force.
I would write, or I would read stories of Luke Skywalker and Godzilla, like an adventure story, like a boy and his dog, or Kibbles and Bits.
Only different.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. I totally be down for that.
Luke Skywalker.
My friend Gojira. And it's just Luke, and he's just riding around on Godzilla and, destroying Tokyo.
Oh no! There goes Tokyo.
He's got a little saddle, little hat. just kind of riding Godzilla. That's it.
He looks like a giant dewback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Like the Empire shows up, and it's like they're all on a bunch of dewbacks, and apparently in this universe, dewbacks are fast-moving creatures, and they're like, "Oh god, there's an army of dewbacks and sand troopers. What are we gonna do?" All of a sudden, you hear in the background. Here comes Godzilla with Luke Skywalker riding on the back. You can't even see him. Just back, but just Godzilla just comes and erects the Empire. Just fucking swats the Death Star out of the sky. That's what kind of shit Godzilla can do.
That'd be great.
Down.
Have you ever
I'd watch that
online that says Godzilla would collapse on himself because he's so big?
Yeah. Because he can only be so big, and his mass would be too much, and it just nothing would be able to hold him up. It wouldn't work out.
Jacob Kaiju says, could you guys imagine a woke take of a kaiju film? Scary thought.
This wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. How are you going to put that in the backdrop of a gigantic monster destroying the city? Just not going to work.
Well, usually because kaiju
only.
Go ahead, Kendo.
We say the monster only destroys people that aren't, respecting or their privilege or whatever it is. He goes around just kicking out the houses of people that are, privileged, and boots the bank up into the air, and the money rains down on all the socioeconomic people of a lower class. I don't know. I'm sure they could figure out some way to make it stupid.
Oh, I'm sure they can.
Yeah, just give them time.
Just doesn't work.
Yeah, the name of the monster will be whatever. Check your privileges, but in Japanese.
All I will add is usually kaiju movies, it's this big end of the world threat. Usually when you get to that type of scenario, people push those differences aside.
Exactly.
So I'm hoping that if they did like a one with a woke backdrop, they're like, we're all people and we need to just realize that there's a bigger threat here, like getting squashed by a giant lizard. So let's not fight about pronouns right now, okay?
Right.
But then there's that one person who still wants to fight about pronouns, and then they just get squashed.
Yeah, you know, we've seen Godzilla 98, same scene.
Yeah.
And, Justin B. Thank you very much again. Justin B says Bob was inspired by Trump. Bob Iger 2024.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I hope not. It'd just be weird.
Stranger things have clearly happened.
That is true.
No, that's true. That's 100% true. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Our friend Swinging Cod actually has this is probably the meanest super chat of the night, but I love it. It says, Dion, I did 6 years in the Navy, and one day will be responsible for your death by liver failure. So, to sum up, eat me.
My man. That's why I love you, man. That's why I love you. But also, you know, you're a Navy man, which means that's why you live vicariously through us. Y'all can't drink.
Dude, he's going to get you on our next one.
I know he is. I'm going to pay for that one. I know, and his ass is probably laughing like, I'm going to get that motherfucker.
I mean,
That's
made
gonna drink the jam.
with mother, so.
That's true. That's true. And you guys are all going to pay for my hubris.
You know what?
Yeah.
If I got to go down with
Either
this
that
ship, I'm proud to go down with this ship.
My man.
Yeah. Either that or he's dialing up a Tomahawk cruise missile with your coordinates on it. Just wait to push that button.
I don't live in Hawaii.
Think about the Navy. I dare you.
I don't live in Hawaii, which is, you know, perfect for Navy fucking up. But whatever. No, that's fine, dude. Whatever.
Now, our friend Headcase Laboratory asks a serious question. How do you make Captain Marvel popular?
You make the porn version. That's what you do.
Oh, of course, Nick goes there.
I was going to say, make
reboot
it more like the comic.
Reboot it. You got to reboot it at this point, you know, or you new person. Carol fucking wannabe dies, and you know someone else becomes Captain Marvel.
How about we replace Carol Danvers with Carol Baskin?
That bitch.
Yeah.
That's not going to make it more popular. I mean, maybe actually, considering how popular Tiger King is, but fuck it. We'll see what happens. Let's do it.
Yeah.
She killed her husband, the first Captain America. He's underneath the septic tank.
No, the funny thing is, like, she goes to jail because they think she killed her husband, Captain America. She's like, but he got frozen in a block of ice, and I never saw him again. And then, like, years later, he gets unthawed. Like, I guess he weren't lying. But they do find a little sardine oil on his shoe. So,
right. She goes, when I first met him, I jumped in his 1946 fucking Cadillac. And we drove around, and he just pulled the gun out, and he said, "Hey, if you know, you're just holding on me if you're scared, honey." And I did, and then I married him.
Jacob Kaiju says, also, Mothra is greater than Captain Marvel. Fact. Not going to argue with you on that one.
That's right. She hooked her homie up. She came to fight by his side no matter what. God damn it. She kicked Rodan's ass.
Headcase Laboratory says, give us your best evil laughter. Kendo, let's let you go first. Okay, Nick. Dion. Let's see.
That's pretty good.
Kendo, you want to go again, buddy?
He.
There you go.
Whoa!
Hey!
They're coming to take me away. Ha 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 ho! To the funny card. Are you Scooby-Doo on crack?
Acid, specifically.
Oh, okay, sorry. Full
Shut up,
circle.
people. What?
Thunder Robots, thank you very much. He says, if I could time travel, I'd go buy Action Comics #1 and then go trade it with George Lucas for Lucasfilm.
I don't think it's worth that much.
A noble cause there, Thunder Robots.
No, because isn't that the one that Nick Cage lost, and it was worth like $250,000 or some shit like that?
It's $1 million book nowadays.
Ooh, baby.
That would be another thing. If somebody's like, you can't really go back and invest in stocks, then I just go back in time and buy really valuable shit and bring it to the future.
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
Action Comics
definitely.
#1. I'd go back
Oh, yeah.
in time with $5, and I'd go to every newsstand I could find, and obviously dimes of time appropriateness. But yeah, it's just like, I'll take all your Action Comics, please, sir. And I know they'll look at me funny because I'm not white, but my money's still silver.
Just tell him, dude. Just tell him you're Greek. Tell him you're Greek. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I always thought I'd say I'm part Sicilian. Don't worry.
There you go. Yeah, just tell me Greek, man.
Do we want to trust the Italians back then?
Yeah, but I'm not hairy enough to be Greek, so
Gotcha. Right. Yeah.
I should just say I'm French. I'm from the Grenoble Alps or whatever.
There you go. There you go.
Helps.
You don't sound French. Yeah, it's because I was raised in Jersey, but I am French. Oui, oui.
Just
I was raised in Jersey.
yeah, oui, croissant. There you go.
Croissant.
Got it.
Give me what the fuck I'm paying for. Yeah, he's from Jersey.
Listen. Quit asking questions. I'll give you $2. All right, just calm down.
Yeah, go have some boiled beef, bitch. Just give me what the fuck I'm paying for.
I invested 20 cents and made $1 million.
There you go. There you
What a
go.
great night. McKinney90, thank you very much again. He says Mean Girls is relevant. It's called Twitter.
I mean,
You're not wrong.
Damn that.
Private Halo, thank you very much again. It says, if I had a time traveling DeLorean, I'll go back in time so George Lucas George Lucas, Fupp and Kathleen Kennedy be in charge of Lucasfilm, probably become a supervillain. Oh, F up Kathleen Kennedy and be in charge of Lucasfilm. It just was all one word, Fupp. I was like, what's Foop? Foopa? I would like to tell you guys I'd go back in time and fix Star Wars, but I mean, if it's like, Jeff, you have these time travel trips, I'm just going to do crazy shit and have fun with it,
Yeah.
I would love to be able to come back to like exactly now with just like $5 billion. We would have so much fuck you money. That's all we would do. We would just do dumb shit with it. It's like, what are you guys going to do this week? Well, we have $12 trillion in our World Class Bullshitters funds. I think we're going to rent a boat and push it off a hill. Just something stupid like that.
Can we buy another country again, please?
Yeah, we'll buy Uganda, right? That's still a place. If you Kamal RIP. Joey Bryant, thank you very much. I see that you changed your icon. He says, here's a classic that could never be made again. Porky's and Porky's Revenge.
Shit.
There was a Porky's 4 made, I think, like 5 or 6 years ago. Don't watch it.
I won't. I do like Porky's quite a bit. I remember catching that as a kid on the Fox movie channel and being blown away. I was like, oh my God, there's a movie with this much nudity in it. Sign me up.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's a damn good time.
It's a terrible film, but I mean, you get what you're paying for. So.
Yeah.
That's an American Beaver picture. Dr. Ian Malcolm, thank you very much. He says, what does Captain Marvel and Ryan Johnson have in common? They're both lacking ovaries.
Damn.
And finally, we have our friend Swinging Cod who goes, game on, Dion. Game on.
Oh, shit. But, sorry, guys.
So, guys, we should jump over to Jackass Bullshitters Edition. I agree. I like that.
Oh, God.
Who's going to be our Steve-O?
Dan.
Yeah.
We'll get him. We'll get him in here. And
We'll get the old guys back just to do the life damage.
just to fuck with him. Yep.
Just to fuck with it. No. What we should do is tell them, be like, listen, if one of you makes it through this, you get to be on the show again. But they really don't.
We'll just pay them off with I don't know.
Use this for your medical
Fat
bills.
Burger. Yeah, we'll cover your medical bills and some Fat Burger and like a nice box of Christmas meat. But I never said you had a job. Before we read the last super chats, Nick, tell the audience where they can find you on the internet.
Find me on Facebook and stuff, man.
No,
On Twitter
Scary
and things.
Drunk.
I'm not gonna talk. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Well, no, Real Independent Productions.
I'm not going to promote that right now.
Okay, sorry, I didn't realize that one too. I thought it was just never mind.
Wow, what a dick.
Yeah, whatever. Nick, tell everyone that I'm in your movie. How's that?
Yes, Jeff is in a movie that I did on a Buckshore Productions on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Go like their stuff and give them some love because the movie's coming out. I just saw the cameo that I shot for you got edited and I sent you that and I watched it as well and it's really good. It's getting put into the segment right now and I think the editor is still working on the last few things to kind of get it going. So hopefully it'll get done at some point. But with the current situation, who knows?
No. All right. So
everybody's stuck in their house with nothing else to do but work on the movie.
Yeah.
So since we don't have anything else to promote, let's see. McKinney90 says Jeff goes back in time to stop Lucasfilm from being bought by Disney, and we learn that Jeff Hicks is appointed head of Lucasfilm and Dion head of MCU.
Ooh.
Dude, we would have proverbial pissing contests about who's
which one is better, which one made more money. We'd actually be making good shit. I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah. I'd be like, well, we just had Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the movie, so suck a dick, West Coast Avengers.
No, West Coast Avengers, fuck you.
Fine, Great Lake Avengers.
Fuck you. Instead of Iron Man 3, we did Iron Man Extremis, motherfucker.
You can have Iron Man Extremis. I'll go off and make the Thrawn trilogy. Oh,
you made the Thrawn? That's really cool. I did Secret Invasion.
Oh, that's so awesome. Guess what? We made an Order 66 film, and it won an Oscar.
That is fantastic. But you know what's even great? I redid fucking season 3 of fucking Punisher, and it was fantastic.
Well, too bad you can't use Spider-Man properly.
I got Spider-Man from Sony, bitch.
And then finally, our friend Headcase Laboratory says, heroes take beatings before being heroes. They do. Yep. I mean, the what's his name? The Crow got the shit kicked out of him before he became the Crow.
Yeah,
and then they shot him.
Friend got raped.
That's true. Murdered.
Kind of a big deal for him.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. Ernie Hudson was there too.
That's right.
So yeah, folks, this is the end of episode 218. It was a fantastic show. I'd like to thank everyone who joined us tonight. If you could do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button on the way out to let us know that you enjoyed it. And I want to thank each and every one of you for making the channel what it is. We do it for you guys. We have a great time doing it. And we'll be back next time with more. I should have a video out, maybe 2 over the weekend. Definitely a video out Saturday morning. I had a couple things that I had to take care of in my it's channel stuff, just a different end of it. But I take care of a couple business things, but we'll get back in the video production because we've seen huge growth since, for some reason. So we'll just keep making videos to grow the channel. So from all of us here at World Class Bullshitters, thank you. Catch me over on Jesse's stream. The link has been in the chat. It's been popping up all night long. Go over there. If you want bonus Jeff, subscribe to that channel. I'm on there most nights of the week. So have your questions ready. Anything you want to talk about, cool. And Mary Mam's going to join us. And I think it's a drinking stream, right? It's a drinking stream. So we have to get our Modelo Negro chill because there's none in the fridge. So it's going to be one of those nights. So, folks, thank you for watching. Yes, hail the Fandom Menace. Hail all of you. Most importantly, be excellent to each other.